Gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's been quite an interesting one. It really was just the positive hangover from yesterday and the Greenland stuff. The geopolitics chilled out. We have not filled the gap. Actually, hold on. As I'm starting, we're getting a little bit of a red. There was just news about meeting with China. I don't know if that's it. But essentially, we've been getting a lot of individual news today. A lot of things have been running in regards to some of the earnings. Even got some Tesla news, but we have not had the same drama, but we might be on to something right now. That one's not too big yet, but I don't know what's causing that. Big northern investors are increasingly worried of U.S. assets. No, that's at least it's not a truth one. You just had a tips auction. Let me see what we got. Trump just reposted the suing JP Morgan. So that was another thing there the day. But yeah, there's just a headline about Europeans. Again, I hope you guys realize from the beginning of the year, even with the PHILO stuff, the whole Sell America trade, people are really trying to hammer that one home. But unfortunately, I don't think it's, they're going to have to really sell the bonds to freak everybody out. And that's a big step of financial warfare. But other than that, though, we got, again, a lot of individual stuff. Tesla, Meta, Alibaba, they're IPOing their chip unit. You even had an IPO, BTGO. But we're getting a little bit of a red. There was just news about meeting with China. I don't know if that's it.
What's happening?
But essentially, we've been getting a lot of individual news today. A lot of things have been running
I don't know
in
where that's coming
regards.
from.
Okay, I found it. So yeah, other than that, though, we're going to begin our PHILO. And we'll start from there. Again, the Trump and JP Morgan. That was a little blip. And we learned a lot yesterday, man. For real, if you feel like it's boring or you want some plays, I was telling you last week, focus on earnings. And a lot of those came back up after that. But like straight up, you just got to wait, man. If you wait for the right headline here, you will definitely get an opportunity. But it has to be a big one like yesterday. Other than that, I would definitely plan around earnings and find the ones that are still down. Or you keep riding on and get the post-earnings moves, because that's what you'll be good on. Yeah, it's the Nordic pension giants. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, it's part of the, what's it called? Sell America propaganda. So again, it'll create opportunities. I just wouldn't fall for it too much. Never boring. It's not, dude. That's what we talked about yesterday. Like yesterday felt boring and we were talking about that, but we're saying, if you can't sit here and find a way to stay busy, maybe trading might not be for you. And then like literally 30 minutes later, a fucking 1,000%er shows up. So I liked it. I had a lot of fun yesterday. I was still a little bit under the weather, but I'm telling you, it was a good reminder of the type of environment that we have. You get the right headline, the right move, information. We're going to be early on it. You're going to definitely have a good opportunity. So, and avoid stupid. Limit the bad trades, limit the stuff that's not worth it, and you'll be able to hone in on some good ones. Oh, we even had Elon today. Elon and talking space solar and a couple of other things. So, yeah. That being said, we're going to begin PHILO here in a couple minutes, and I hope y'all ready for it. So let's get you some, son.
Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a call, baby. Hey. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear, oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah. It's done. Daddy said it's finished. Made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it, set apart from the start. And the heart isn't ours, it's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the arc. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god, then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib. But for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing, they want death to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now. Jesus. Put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Ay, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there, I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear, oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Amen.
Amen. Amen, Chad. Amen. Oh, I can't do that without sneezing. Oh, Chadadonia. How you living, baby? How you living? It's time for PHILO. It's time for PHILO. OpenAI, Altman says API business added $1 billion in ARR in the last month. Wow. So, Chadadonia, I hope you're ready. I got a good one for you. I got a great one for you, actually. I actually could start in a couple of different places. Believe it or not, today's PHILO it includes some financial elements. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So, I don't know. I brought up furniture yesterday. And I don't know if you guys know what that means. I hope you decide your attitude and don't let it be decided by other things. But do you know you have a place ready for you? It's beautiful. Shout out to your destiny. And you know what, the furniture, you want to know something about furniture, bro? You're going to go somewhere and the room will be furnished. What does that mean? Am I starting too deep for y'all? This is just the intro. What does that mean? My brother, you have a place ready for you. You will get there. It will be furnished. Do you know what that means? This is exciting. That means you don't got to bring anything with you. Chadadonia. So I think it's a good place to start here. You don't got to bring anything with you. My brother, you must be prepared with what you already have and just you. And that alone is it. So you're going to go somewhere where you won't need to bring anything and all you will have is you. Do you get that? That's pretty exciting. So think about it. Because when you get there, you're going to realize what's really important. Like I told you, man, I didn't realize how important 2 nostrils was till a couple days ago. I should have known, but yeah. You are going to get there. It will be furnished. So again, you decide beforehand how you're going to feel about that. So that's the first part. And are you ready for this one? Before I get into the financial. And it kind of relates to it. This one might slap some of y'all. This one, it might uppercut somebody. So, but I like this a lot. And I think it's very applicable to the world we live in. And a lot of the stuff we get offered every day. And the lifestyles people try to get. I see a lot of freedom. You know I love freedom, right? I love freedom of thought. I love accurate thought. I love critical thought. It's beautiful, man. That's why, some people even ask me stuff. And I'm telling you, I remember what it was like. And I don't like the lack of freedom in certain ways. And yeah, I know somebody like, well, you're just the Chad. No. I'm talking real freedom, dog. I'm not talking about you got a choice, you got an option. I'm talking freedom. Like, can I talk about that? Can you actually decide what you want whenever you want? Freedom. The freedom to live your life. You know how many people offer you garbage and then they masquerade it as freedom? I don't know if you want to have this talk right now. but I'll just give you a one-liner for it. Are you ready? Sin looks like freedom until you try to stop it. And I really want y'all to understand this. I hate to say the word sin because some of y'all turn off right away. Sin? What do you mean sin? But nah, bro, for real, think about it. You can apply this to anything. It looks like freedom until you try to stop it. Do you know what that means? I know every drug addict in here knows what I'm talking about. Man, I would argue every gambling addict knows what I'm talking about. That's why I think some of y'all think I'm being a hard ass, but think about it. That's the danger, man. You hit a couple of options. Tell me you're not like, I'm free. I figured it out. I don't have to work a job. I could do all these. Okay, stop it now. Can you leave the casino? Again, how many people are offered lifestyles every day? You get to make all these different choices. And it feels like you're getting free. But what happens when you try to stop? Oh, that's why I like freedom. Real freedom. Longevity. We talked about it last year. Things that are sustainable. That's why I like it. That's why the things telling you long-term, changing your life, learning, applying yourself, your direction, all these things, bro. Taking care of your mind. These are all very sustainable things for the long run. The irony of a lot of these things is that they don't look like freedom. When I say save your money, make good decisions, stay out of trouble. But I want to have fun. It seems like you're being binded. But the reality, you could stop it at any time, and it's probably going to lead you into more freedom. Saying no early will make sure you are free down the line versus saying yes to everything right now and then walking out with chains. So I want you to keep this in mind. And if you tell me something in your life is not a problem, for real, like being dead ass serious, you want to tell me it's not a problem? Stop it today. Better yet, stop it for 2 weeks. And then tell me it's not a problem. Then tell me it has you free. Then I'll believe you. If you can't, you should respond to the reality of the situation. Because I'm telling you, man, I don't think it's going to get any. This is an age-old trick. I hope you know that. This existed before I was even alive. All these things masquerading as freedom. But the moment you try to stop it, you can't. Oh, Chatadonia. So now, I'll give you the last part of the intro. And this is the financial part. And I think it relates. I think it really does relate to that and the freedom. 2 parts of it. Number 1, everything has a price. This is why I've always loved economics. You know that? That's why some of this stuff is always so fun. That's why I look forward to sharing more of this with you. And the more you guys learn this, you learn this game, you're going to realize it. That's why that temperament is so important. You're going to realize this. You think I'm just teaching you stocks, bro? You think it's just stock market, real estate? No, bro. Everything has a price. You understand that, right? Opportunity cost, sunk cost fallacy, all of this stuff. It's all everywhere in your life. My guy, you are paying for everything. Last year, I was reminding you. I said, you are paying attention. That's what I said. I said, why are you paying attention? You don't like this stuff and you want to pay your time? You think I care about a $2 membership, $5? You think anything? What about your mind? What are you buying? What are you paying for with your attention? I don't know what's going through your head right now. What are you paying for? What are you looking at your phone? All these things you're paying for. Again, all these habits you create. It seems like it's free, freedom. You are paying for it. Don't ever forget this. See, and that's the best part. You want me to tell you the trick? I'll tell you this trick, and I've taught you this in real estate. I've taught you this even with the long term. It applies everywhere. So everything has a price, right? Don't forget, that's a rule. Everything has a price. Even if something is free, it has a price. So everything has a price. How do you make a good investment? Actually, better yet, I would argue there is no such thing as a bad investment. Did you know that? That doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a bad investment. What does that mean then? So if everything has a price and there's no such thing as a bad investment, can you fill in the blank for me? Do you know what that is implying? There's only a bad price, bro. That's what it means. That's what it means. So you mean to tell me if this doesn't work, it's going to set you back 5 years at the most critical part of your life? What? That doesn't sound like... You see what I'm saying? The price you pay, that determines the investment. Every single thing you do or don't do has a price. Action or inaction. There's no such thing as a bad investment. There's only a bad price. You got to start getting good returns, bro. You get a good return by not paying the ultimate price. So you're going to pay a lot to get back little? You going to pay a lot to have it for a little? I would rather pay a little to have it for a long time. Again, my favorite rule, bro. My favorite rule. You make the money on the buy. That's why there's no such thing as a bad investment. Especially like real estate. There's no such thing as bad real estate. There's only a bad price. That's something I've been sharing a lot with you guys. End of last year, this year. I think you all should buy a home. I don't think you should buy it at a bad price. I think if it's too much, you shouldn't buy it. You go and you look every day, you find a good home at a good price. It's going to be one of the best decisions you ever make. Same thing with the stock. Guess what? Same thing with your time. Same thing with your daily habits. Go look at your habits right now. You think I care about your habits? No. I care about the price. Both monetarily and then the impact on your brain, your actions, your relationships, your emotion, all that. What's the price? What's the price you're paying for that stuff? Then tell me about the investment. Then we could talk about good or bad. I gave it my youth. It gave me back nothing. That's a bad investment. I gave it my youth. It made sure I was clear for the next 10 years. That's a good investment. You understand? So I like that. I think it's a good reminder. And like I said, man, it's economics. It's money. It's finance. It's the world, low key. Why are the airlines dumping? That could be because of the weather. No such thing as a bad investment. Only a bad price. Don't ever forget that. Keep this in your mind. It'll take you a little further than that. So now what I wanted to tell you today. Was rule number 1, man. It's actually the start of a lot of things. This is how it begins. The kingdom. Do you know about the kingdom? You all have a command in regards to the kingdom. Do you know what it is? What should you do with the kingdom? I don't want to give it away, but what's the first thing you should do with the kingdom? Anybody know? Ooh, I almost sneezed. Ding, 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 ding. I look at you, warriors. Y'all said protect it. Y'all ready to fucking squabble, huh? Amen. But before we get there, you must seek it. That's the first rule. Ain't that something? Seek first the kingdom of God. Do you know what that means? This is actually very exciting. You must desire it and look for it. Everything. This applies to all of it too, man. Even the finance. You know that, right? Even the people with the long term, you want to change your life, you want to do whatever it is, you have to seek it. That is the first thing you must do. If you right now, there's a difference in two people right now. Somebody is looking for something and somebody is not. That's it. Seek and ye shall find, brother. You get that, right? Do you know what that means? Success. God, the secrets of this world, God, you name it, whatever you want. Think about it. You are not going to just stumble upon it. You get what I'm saying? You want the secrets of God, you want the secrets of life, you want the secrets of money. My brother, you're not going to just wind up into it. It must be something that you are actively pursuing. Oh, I hope you feel me. That's seek first. That is a command. That is a divine commandment everybody has. Because guess what? Anything you are not actively pursuing, how is it going to show up? I don't even care how you do it. I hope you get what I'm telling you right now. Because you ain't going to do anything if you don't seek it. That's what I'm saying, man. Those of you who really want to do the long term, those of you who really want to change stuff right now in your life, I don't care what you have or don't have. But you got to seek it. There is just a whole difference in personality and results from somebody who is willing to seek something out and not. And because it changes everything. Because now when you start seeking it, you're going to look. You're going to look for things. You're going to be hungry. You're going to go. You're going to start finding it. You're going to study it. You are going to be you will become a learning machine. I hope you see how where does learning come from? You think learning is a matter of IQ? I disagree. I think it's a matter of desire and seeking. If you want something and actively pursue it, tell me you are not going to keep learning about it. Again, that's the Charlie Munger quote. Always be learning. Become a learning machine. That right there is going to change your life. That's seeking it out every time. That's studying it, saying, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Making it a part of you in that sense. I'm actively pursuing the kingdom. I'm actively pursuing God and what he has for me. You're going to keep learning. You're going to want to learn about it. Why do you think I read the Bible every day? I'm looking for something. I'm looking for the kingdom. I want to find it. You get it? That's not once a month. That's not once a week. It's an adventure. It's a treasure hunt every day. You could change your life. That's a journey, bro. That's why if you're really seeking the kingdom, bro, it's a hunger. I'll even tell you right now, that's why with a lot of this stuff, even the money stuff, the long term, this was one thing I kept cautioning for last year, and I still think it remains today. I've answered a lot of questions this year, but I've seen it. Can you do it with once a month? You can. I could give you a play once a month, bro. That's easy. But your mind needs to be active on what your pursuit is every single day. Do you get it? I figured a little bit more about my job. You want to know what my job is? My job is to keep you hungry for the kingdom. What do you mean I eat once a month? Oh, I eat once a day at 10 a.m. That's not going to cut it. I wouldn't call that seeking. Do you get it? You must want something and say, I want to do this. I'm going to learn about it. I'm going to desire it. I'm going to seek it out, and I'm going to go for it every single day, over and over. And then, because it's an adventure, and one thing leads to the next. But if you're passively doing it, I wouldn't call it seeking, because you don't know the irony of something. Imagine, that's why we're talking. I'm showing you all this stuff. Imagine even last year. It's already been a year. 8 months, depending on what timeline, what checkpoint you want to go back to. Intel was a checkpoint. April, Liberation Day, checkpoint. The minerals, checkpoint. Go back to the Abbey Vibes, the Snapchat, checkpoint. January 6th, checkpoint. Yeah, go back, whatever you want to. Isn't it funny how, like, you have got to learn and you see it now differently? I think this is why I'm saying you have to seek every day. This is why I've understood a little bit more about the kingdom. Seek first the kingdom of God. The first most important thing is seeking it out. You become a seeker today, bro. That is what? That's the job of a king. You already know that. Don't forget this. Because you don't think it's funny how we don't understand it the first time? I tell you, save 10%. You remember hearing that the first time? Are you telling me you don't understand it better now? Buy stuff you know and use. You're telling me you don't. Isn't it crazy? Compare it to the first time you heard that. I guarantee it hits way different now. You hear a concept once, you are not going to absorb it and understand it the same way. We never get anything the first time. Well, and I could make a whole nother PHILO off of that just alone. You don't see that? We never get anything the first time. Oh, I hope you feel me, Chad. So what does that mean? You must seek it out over and over again. You must learn it, desire it, hunger for it. Because then the second time, the third time, the first year, the second year, and then what happens? See, this is the best part about it. Oh, this is the best part about it. You know what that all leads to? It all leads to understanding. Knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge and understanding. See, isn't this a cool little road? You see how it starts first with seek. This is all part of seeking something out. Seeking is a very deep word. Yes, exactly. We've talked about seeking. We've talked about this. It's a very deep word. That's why I'm saying it's not just this, okay, I want it. It's I want it every day. I do it every day. I'm looking for it. I'm not stumbling upon it. All of this leads to understanding. All leads to understanding. So why is understanding important? Some of you might like this, some of you might not. But I think this is objective truth. Nothing is really yours until you understand it. You tell me, look at life. Come on. Tell me, look at some of y'all, the moment you started to understand the long term, tell me that's not when it became really real. Tell me that's not where you started to even get better at it. When you started to understand what you could do, you understood it, it became yours. Whether it's long-term or trading, dog, if you don't understand it, it's not really yours. If you understand it, it's yours. Once you understood the game, you're going to keep that money. You don't understand the game, bro, the money will come and go. No? How many times have I told you about the fluke test? Why do people get that? How you haven't seen people make a bunch of money and then lose it all? Why? Understanding. You ain't seen people go through stuff, have stuff, and then they lose it all. Why? Understanding. That's exciting. You know why? Because if you're hearing me right now, I know somebody's like, oh, wait. So all I got to do is understand and I won't lose. Yes, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You understand what we're doing with the long term, it's going to become yours. Why wouldn't it be? You understand how it works. This ain't just following along. You ain't doing it just because emotions. Oh, just because this guy did it. No, you understand it. Do you get it? You understand what a trade can do, both good and bad to you. You understand what the gamble really is, brother. That's why you ain't going to play with it the same way. You're going to treat it different. You're going to understand what your time and money is going to do. So this is a double-edged sword, bro. Understanding is a gift. I hope you get that. That's why it is. You see why understanding is a gift? Because that's the difference between something being yours and something not being yours. Why do you think he tell you to pray for knowledge and wisdom? Why do you think the book says pray for understanding? You praying for an item? Why? Understanding is the difference between having and not. You understand it, it's yours, brother. Understand the world, it's yours. You understand the relationships, it's yours. You don't, you're gonna have a lot of encounters. You'll have encounters with money, with people, you name it. You want to keep something, you must understand it. To get to understanding, you must first seek it. Then you learn. Then you desire. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't get it. That's the whole thing. You think the devil care about what you have and not? Nope. He just don't want you to understand. Why do you think confusion? That's why I did not like any confusion last year. That's why I got bothered by it. Because that's really demonic. You don't get it? All these liars, all this damn confusion, people trying to take objective truth and bend it. I don't like it. You know why? Because it robs people from understanding. Robbing them of life, robbing them of destiny, robbing what they should have. You feel me? I hope you do. Because that's the truth. The devil don't care about you getting something for a little bit. These demons don't mind if you, because again, the freedom. All he wants is for you to not understand. Do you get it? That's the reality of it. They don't care if you get a little money. They don't care if you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Because if you don't understand it, it's not really yours. Then the next thing comes. And then this happened. And then that happened. They don't care. Understanding. Because once you understand it, nobody could take it away from you. Everyone used to say knowledge. My mom used to tell me that. You get an education. They can't take that from you. She was saying the right thing, but using the wrong word. It's not education. It's understanding. You understanding and you have understanding, nobody could take that from you. Because what you understand is yours. So yeah, man. Seek first the kingdom of God. That will lead to the knowledge and understanding. I look forward to what you further understand this year, and to what you further get and you further keep. Take that to the bank. That is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on the video. God bless America. Woo! Let's see what we got. Let's see. Let's get him a Paul freestyle. Knowledge and wisdom. Understand. Seek first. You get that though. I hope you do, man. I hope none of this. Don't take this as a big burden. But you should seek it out. You get what I'm saying? You don't need once you start seeking, all the steps come in line easily. That's all I'm saying, but you gotta look for it. Just look, keep looking, keep learning. It's gonna happen. But none of this happens by chance. I will tell you that. This is very deliberate. And it's your first divine command. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all will be revealed, dog.
The whole idea of spiritual warfare is not what you think that you watch something like The Exorcist. Spiritual warfare is much more subtle, and it's much more tricky.
It's a call, baby. Yeah. It's a letter to the people. I'm penning it like I'm Paul. It don't matter about the evil, it matter about the God. It don't matter about the weapons, it matter about how you armed. All that matters is the weather, when weather to bet the farm. I ain't gotta see it to believe it. If it's signing and it's deeded, then my eyes don't need a reason. I won't even try to explain it unless it say I got a feeling. I'm gonna sing my praise like David, but the king is still a killer. Listen up and go and get the tropes. Hope you know you ain't scared of them, they scared of you. And I know you might be scared to take that point of view. You see them arrows in my back? Yep, son, that's gonna happen too. But the harvest on the way, you gon' barter every day. That means you have to make a trade, either life or it's the grave. The result will not remain, every day will bring a change. Kinda funny and it's strange how the hope will pave the way. You hearing what I say? The only difference between you and them comes down to faith. There's a difference in the man who believes in a better day. Cause once you believe it's past, you're willing to wilt away. We was never willing to be the same. We want it all in the long run, they want it all today. My father is really awesome, don't bother with giving snakes. Regardless, I can't control it, so either way, giving thanks. Yep, you could take that one to the bank. A leader without a rank, a speaker without a face, a people without a race. They eating without a taste, they scheming without a safe. The meanings have been replaced. Another time, another place, we could talk about it. Keep some oil in them lamps, don't get caught without it. Want them once, want them twice, they never talk about it. If you never get a second chance, then that ain't meant to happen. What I understand is you ain't trying to understand. Take 100 grand, then 100 undergrads. Pay them all to make a plan, but they couldn't comprehend what it means to never die, but somehow still be born again. It's a letter to the people, I'm penning it like I'm Paul. It don't matter about the evil, it matter about the God. It don't matter about the weapons, it matter about how you armed. All that matters is the weather, when weather to bet the farm. It's a call. It's a call, baby. Aye. Coach always said, don't look down when you dribble. Arguing right, left, I went up the middle. That's a big account, but it started with a little. Sold before the bounce, I sold for my initial. Swear I lost count, head just on a swivel. This ain't about clout, it's about who's beneficial. Finger to the clouds with the whip superficial. Made my mama proud and some friends artificial. Why you getting loud? Trying to keep it civil. Told me run it back, now I'm up triple. Dime is a dime and a nickel is a nickel. Eyes will arise when the money's in the middle. I ain't that wise, they just shady, that's simple. If I'm not that guy, then why would y'all listen? See, it get nervous when I'm quiet. It don't happen on the cell, I make the money when I buy it. Passionate as well, and I love it, you should try it. Imagine past the bell, you either gambling or lying. True serum, I be sipping on that shit. No long term, that's a different type of bitch. Think it's just money, dog, open up your shit. I was getting ready before I was getting rich. Preparation, child of the nation. Try to sell us change, but they raised us impatient. You can know the price and not understand the basis. They haven't faced the truth, Josh is still faceless. Killing shit, I could quit now. From this damn song to owning the whole town. Bitches smiling at me, my peers make a frown. First I didn't get it, but I understand it now. Keep shooting like I'm born in Chino Hills. It's hard to keep money, harder to keep it real. If I was really cocky by now, I would have been killed. But if you kill me, I meet God, so low key, I'm kinda thrilled.
Amen. Woo! Oh, dude. I'm about to sneeze. I feel, dog, it's terrible. You know how many, like, pre-sneezes I've had today? And then I don't sneeze? It's terrible. It's terrible. But we back, dog. We back. We back. Where's your boy, bro? Oh, you're gonna have JD Vance live, and then you're gonna have what's his name? Where's Carney? Mark Carney. Carney. Oh yeah, Chad. Understanding. And if you've already been seeking, you understand now. You focus on understand. Just understand it. At first I didn't get it, but I understand it now. Keep shooting. Chadadonia. Both AMD and Intel have reportedly sold out their respective servers. We just need Intel to say it. But yeah, that's the banger right there. But if that's true, it has to be reflected in the earnings, and then yeah, that'll keep it up at these prices. Broadcom. Dog. What an image. Yo, they got fucking ICE vehicles, American flags, and then JD Van. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. I don't know. I do. The people in Minneapolis are reeling off of this. Is quite the showcase. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just saw it. I said, what? Where's Carney, dog? And then the Canadians. Dude, what did Trump say? Just remember, Mark, we made you. Oh, man. Docs. Is Meta still up? Yeah, they chilled a little bit. Tesla, too, that ran. So not bad, my friends. Not bad. Oh, Meta. Where is a Tesla? Oh, Tesla. So yeah, it just sucks though. I'm scared with all these earnings plays because they all had a really nice run today. But then if you get one little fucking stop, the premium stop. But then if it does do a good pre-earnings run up, these should all be bangers. But they're decent for now. You got to make a choice. And then the Nazi's up 1, Russell up 1.1, SPY up 0.7, and the Dow up 0.8. I don't know Friday sell-off, actually. Because, again, we were thinking that the other day, or just that it was kind of going to be a nothing week. I don't know if it's a sell-off, or we might just end up back to... We might be unchanged. That's it. Like, so think about it. You go up 2 more points, you'll be at the same place we ended last Friday. So that could happen, but then it also depends on the news flow. Like, you know, if we get some more excitement, if we get some more energy, all it takes is a couple more announcements, a good intel, and then people are going to do what they did today. Because today, they're just front-running the earnings now. Once people kind of chilled out a little bit after that little sell-off, they really started piling on. I mean, I don't know if you guys see it or not, but there's been a lot of pre-earnings runs today. Yeah, bro, this look at this fucking this nationalism at its finest. What an image, bro. I've never even seen these ICE cars. Like, what are they announcing a new ICE truck? The all-new 2026. The deportation SUV. Protect yourself. New soundproof technology. You can't hear the incessant honking from people getting in the way. New GPS will reroute when a bunch of Karen moms try to block you from deporting any PDF files. It's gonna be fun. Where's Connie? Oh, Carney's live.
Ici dans une bataille qui a changé à jamais le cours de l'histoire.
He said, listen to Josh with the law term and get baptized in 10%.
Lorsque la fumée s'est dissipée.
He said, if you gamble your money, you'll be running on fumes.
Le destin lié même dans la mort.
Follow your destiny for lots of money in the long term.
La Nouvelle-France était tombée.
You don't need France stocks.
L'Amérique du Nord britannique
American stocks are better.
il aurait été facile.
Get a house in
Voire
Ohio,
prévisible d'en rester là.
but only at a good
Le
price.
scénario habituel de la conquête.
There's multiple
Les
scenarios to make
vaincus
money,
sont assimilés. Le langue
but you must
supprimée,
assimilate
le
a long term.
droit interdite, le
Don't
droit
be-
remplacé. C'est ce que les conquérants ont fait
And
pendant
conquer the
des
markets,
millionnaires.
and you'll become a millionaire. That's what he
De
said.
la grande déportation des Acadiens,
That's
en
it.
passant par le rapport de Ham suite
I'm
à
pretty
la
sure that's what he said.
rébellion des patriotes, certains
To be a
ont
patriot
cherché à imposer ce modèle
and save 10%
d'assimilation,
in a
la
similar fashion
logique
to what Josh is showing you,
habituelle de la conquête.
and you will conquer the
Finalement,
markets.
Ce n'est pas la voie que le Canada a choisie.
Something about a Christina Aguilera song.
D'abord, grâce à la résilience des francophones.
The grass is
Une
greener on the other side.
résilience parfois silencieuse. Souvent
Silence the dumb shit on
combative,
social media.
mais toujours déterminé à
You
préserver
only need
une
to add
langue,
once or two
une
times a
culture
month.
et une identité.
Don't be an idiot.
Ensuite, par pragmatisme. Les
Be
autorités
pragmatic.
britanniques ont rapidement compris
It's a
qu'on ne
unique
gouverne
strategy, but it's
pas
concrete.
durablement 70 000 habitants
And people been making
contre
millions
leur
on it
volonté.
since before time.
Surtout avec des colonies américaines instables au sud.
Something about Americans
Ainsi,
stabbing you. I don't
tout au
know.
long de
I
l'histoire de
might
notre
not
pays,
get that one.
des décisions ont été prises pour construire
To make your
quelque
decision,
chose
you can't
de
change your
différent
mind for
ici,
10 years.
ensemble. Cela
Awesome.
n'a pas toujours été une ligne droite.
Awesome.
Les progrès ont été réalisés à travers des tensions, des compromis et parfois des échecs.
You hear it,
Mais
right?
à
I'm pretty sure
plusieurs
this is. I don't know.
reprises, le
My
Canada
French
a
ain't that good.
choisi une voie différente. And from that choice,
Oh, okay.
initially practical, even
And
self-interested,
initially, practically.
something remarkable emerged. Not a myth, not a miracle, but a growing commitment that coexistence could make us stronger. That we can build an identity which not only respects our differences, but also celebrates them. Un projet audacieux que deux peuples récemment ennemis, parlant des langues différentes, pratiquant des religions différentes, vivant sous des traditions juridiques différentes, puissent partager un même pays and build it together. The Canadian philosopher Charles Taylor contends that people aren't blank slates, but that our identities, personal and national, are constituted through history. In his words, the past is sedimented in the present, and our choices are shaped by what came before. Our country
Dude,
was
gold and
built
silver.
on the bedrock of
Yeah,
three
that
people.
gold's short didn't
Indigenous,
work. Thank God it was
French,
small. but
British.
Fuck. They ripped
Long
it
before
again.
the battle on these plains, long
Oh,
before
sorry.
the first French ships sailed up the St. Lawrence, indigenous peoples were the original stewards of this land. They built nations, trading networks, and systems of governance that spanned the entire continent. The Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and the Innu shaped this land and were shaped by it. Then the French came. They built a new society adapted to the realities of North America, shaped by the river and forest, by trade with indigenous nations, and by the determination to survive and flourish in this land. When the British came, that civilization did not disappear. It endured, and now it thrives. La Confédération est née de cette histoire. L'une de ses pères fondateurs, José-Étienne Cartier, a déclaré à l'époque que les Canadiens et Canadiennes étaient des races différentes, non pas se faire la guerre, mais afin de travailler conjointement à leur propre bien-être, qui vivent les uns à côté des autres comme de grandes familles. Ce pacte a été renouvelé lorsque Wilfrid Laurier a gouverné un pays qui avait autrefois conquis son peuple. Il a été renouvelé avec l'avènement du bilinguisme officiel. Il a été renouvelé lorsque les Québécois ont choisi deux reprises de rester au sein du Canada. estimant que ce partenariat, malgré toutes ses
Bro,
frustrations,
gold and a couple space stocks still
méritait
going.
non seulement d'être préservé,
Yeah, moved
mais
in like an
aussi
hour
d'être
though.
renforcé.
30 minutes.
Les plans d'Abraham symbolisent une champ de bataille, oui.
Intuit's still one of the
mais
worst on the year, but
symbolise
they're doing good
aussi
today.
le lieu où le Canada a commencé à faire le choix historique de privilégier l'adaptation plutôt que l'assimilation,
Finally.
ou le partenariat plutôt que la domination, ou la collaboration plutôt que la division. Oui, cette fondation était imparfaite. Elle excluait trop de gens. Elle reposait en partie sur la dépossession de peuples autochtones et sur la violation des traités conclus avec eux. Mais cette fondation reposait sur l'idée fondamentale que l'unité ne passe pas nécessairement par l'uniformité, que nous pouvons partager un pays sans nous conformer à une identité unique, que nos différences reconnues
Yeah, I wouldn't
honnêtement
sell
et
from your long
gérées
term.
dans le respect
I wouldn't have put gold and silver in my long
sont
term
une
either. I would have held
source
it physically,
de force.
but just rebalance
Ce
outside of
choix
it. You don't have to
résonne
move
à travers
anything. You just
notre
focus.
histoire.
The
Il
beauty of something
résonne
going
dans les
crazy
choix
is it
faits
gives
par
you an
les
opportunity to
nouveaux
buy everything
arrivants
else.
venus de quatre coins du
So
monde
you could get some real
pour
good dividend and
s'établir
value
au
and get some
Canada.
good deals, and then
Il
if it goes
résonne
crazy,
dans
you
les
get your
choix
growth.
faits
And then if it ever comes back, at
par
least you
chaque
use the
génération
time and money
déterminée à
to
continuer
really balance
à
it out.
bâtir
Again, with
non
enough
pas
time,
sur
you
le
can make
sein
outsides look normal.
sur la terre, mais sur quelque
Big
chose
Iran news?
de
No, I
plus
have not. I heard that
exigeant
last week,
et de plus durable.
or like when they were
Un
tripping out on the other
engagement
stuff, but
commun
not as of
à
lately.
vivre ensemble, à
I don't think oil's showing
accepter les
anything either.
différences et à rechercher le bien commun.
Yeah, oil's
Et
down.
grâce à chacun de ces choix, le Canada est devenu plus riche, plus inclusif et plus équitable. What makes Canada a great country? It's a great country for everyone. It's the greatest country in the world to be a regular person. You don't have to be born rich or to a landed family here. You don't have to be a certain color.
Are you sure?
or
Canada's
worship
mad
a
expensive,
certain
dog.
God. Canadians believe in the value of every other Canadian. Their boundless potential to make this great country even better.
Sorry.
Our ancestors, despite their differences, believed in each other and in us. Now, there are long periods of history where these values can prosper unchallenged. Ours is not one of them. Our values must be fought for. That's what we are doing. That's what Canadians want. Canadians are up for it. Our history traces an arc of broadening inclusion from biculturalism to multiculturalism, from being British subjects to becoming Canadian citizens, from being two founding peoples to
Today's
being
the
many
22nd?
peoples living in
Nice.
true partnership with Indigenous peoples. From William Lyon Mackenzie King's social citizenship to Louis Saint Laurent's liberal internationalism, from Diefenbaker's One Canada to Pierre Elliott Trudeau's Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Brian Mulroney's environmentalism to Justin Trudeau's pluralism and reconciliation, each generation of Canadians has built a modern, progressive, liberal state that embraces the values of caring and sharing, of equity and fairness for all. Institutions make up the body of that progressive state, but our values are at its heart. Institutions from the civil code to public health care, from modern
not full of
self-government
shit.
agreements
In
to
Canada, they
Parliament's
say syrup.
recognition of the Quebec
So
people
you
as
say
a
he's
nation.
full of syrup, I think is the
Values of
is the way to describe
inclusivity,
it.
fairness, solidarity, sustainability, and ambition. Canadians are inclusive.
very American of you.
We know our country is stronger when everyone belongs, when newcomers are welcome, when minorities are protected, when Indigenous peoples are true partners. That commitment to inclusion was institutionalized, first in the Bill of Rights and then embedded in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It was manifest in our adoption of multiculturalism, first as policy and then as law. In the same spirit, the enshrinement into law of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples reflects our fundamental commitment to reconciliation and to respecting
CSX
Indigenous
dumping.
peoples as equal partners.
Trump
in
said
building
progress
our
on
country
Greenland
together.
framework plans for new board of peace emerge from
inclusion
Davos,
means going
calling
beyond
both
the protection
unprecedented wins as he
of
returns
rights
to U.S.
to
True
the
Social.
commitment to creating a society in
couple
which
minutes ago.
everyone can flourish. That's why we introduced the Combating Hate Act, to preserve the freedom of people to practice their faith and culture without intimidation, harassment, or violence. Les Canadiens et Canadiennes
That was like 12
vivent
minutes
les
ago.
uns sur les autres, surtout
They're
dans les
reiterating it.
moments difficiles.
Maman.
Et cet esprit de solidarité a inspiré les fondements de l'État-providence moderne au lendemain de la Grande Dépression, notamment l'assurance chômage, les allocations familiales et la sécurité de la vieillesse. De nouveaux piliers institutionnels de solidarité ont été ajoutés avec la création du régime de pension du Canada et de la loi canadienne sur la santé. Je suis fier, vous êtes fiers, que nous ayons élargi ces fondements au cours des dernières années avec le régime national de soins dentaires, les services de garde d'enfants, le plan d'assurance médicaments et le programme national d'alimentation scolaire. Au Canada, c'est lorsque nous sommes unis que nous sommes les plus forts. Lorsque nous veillons les uns sur les autres et que nous veillons à ce qu'aucun enfant,
US weighs
aucune
full military
famille,
withdrawal
personne
from
ne soit laissé
Syria.
pour compte. Cet esprit de solidarité et de générosité contribue à
I don't even know who
définir
get affected by
notre
that.
identité en tant que nation.
Coming out now.
Canadians believe that fairness includes equality of opportunity, so that every Canadian has a shot at a good and fulfilling life.
Apple Tim Cook
And the
not
foundation of this
expected to
commitment
step
is
down
access of every
immediately.
Canadian to comparable public services, particularly education and healthcare. These commitments were institutionalized when equalization was first introduced in 1950 and then embedded in our Constitution in 1982. And by protecting services like childcare, dental care, pharmacare, we
Yeah, Tim
strengthen
Cook
the
news.
sense of security that Canadians rely on every day. A strong and united Canada stands up for families and workers and protects those who are most vulnerable, whether they're a newcomer,
3
a
times this
person
year.
with a disability, or a member
Yeah,
of the
Apple Tim
two-spirited
Cook not expected to step
LGBTQI+
down as CEO imminently.
community.
Remember, there was news of him leaving, and then there's the Syria news that
Now,
just
friends,
came out too.
The advent
U.S.
of
weighs
artificial
complete
intelligence
military withdrawal
will
from Syria. But didn't Syria
simultaneously
fall
challenge
last year? And
fairness,
the
inclusion,
fucking
and
they brought the
solidarity.
terrorist guy in.
Well, it creates enormous opportunities for how we live, work, and play. And these tensions can only be reconciled if AI works for all.
AI.
AI can provide powerful solutions, better healthcare, better education, better government services. It can empower Canadians with new skills for more fulfilling jobs. But realizing that potential will require fundamental reforms to our education system, how we do skills training, and to our social welfare system. Our upcoming AI for All strategy will begin to tackle these challenges to maximize the potential of AI for all Canadians. The développement durable
Bro, I
assure
didn't think this was
l'équité
going to turn
entre
into
les
an AI
générations.
discussion.
Les Canadiens et Canadiennes sont les gardiens d'un territoire vaste et précieux.
I think Apple will
Nous
go up
avons
on the
pris des
Tim Cook
mesures
stuff.
pour protéger au moyen de traités internationaux comme le traité sur
Sur
les
le lardon.
pluies acides et l'accord de Paris de 2015, ainsi que par nos progrès constants en matière de conservation de notre patrimoine naturel, conformément à nos engagements pris lors de la conférence de Montréal en 2022. Au cours des prochains mois, notre gouvernement mettra en œuvre de nouveaux plans ambitieux visant à accélérer le développement durable au pays, à réduire les facteurs liés à l'énergie des familles et entreprises et à protéger la richesse naturelle du Canada. Canada is ambitious. Canada is an ambitious nation of builders and explorers. We mapped this continent before the Americans had even left St. Louis. We built a transcontinental railway in 5 years, the St. Lawrence Seaway in 4. We created a healthcare system that became a model for the world. This government, Canada's new government, shares that ambition. We've already removed all federal barriers to interprovincial trade, and we're catalyzing hundreds of billions of dollars of investments in nation-building projects. We're doubling our defense spending by the end of this decade. And we're working to ensure that core Canadian capabilities, including
So now
in
just
AI,
wait for the
in quantum, in
juxtaposition
cyber,
when
and
I put
critical
on
minerals,
JD Vance.
will
He's like, well, if you
maximize
stand
the
in front of the
economic
car, we're
benefit
going to
for
shoot you.
Canadians
So
and
it's
these
going to
new
be different,
security
you guys. It's going to be different.
imperatives.
So just prepare now.
Now we need to
Where the
execute.
fuck are all of the bots,
Fair.
bro? How come I don't have any of y'all? Y'all ain't got shit to
Les
say
valeurs
about this?
canadiennes, telles que
You mad. You scared them all
l'inclusion,
away,
la
bro.
solidarité,
What happened to
l'équité,
where's
la
the fuck is
durabilité
Abracadabra?
et l'ambition.
Where's
Ne
Rahul?
sont pas des
Y'all ain't got
idées
nothing. Y'all just,
abstraites.
oh, y'all love the
Des
fucking
guides
Canadian model,
pratiques
huh?
qui font partie
I ain't seen none of not
intégrante
one person.
de notre identité.
They're not like, oh, how could you believe this lie?
Notre
So this guy, he's not a PDF file. No, there's not one PDF file in the Canadian government.
Révolutionnaire.
That's crazy,
Dans des
man.
moments comme ceci, le Canada doit assumer deux rôles.
Man, so y'all can be respectful? That's crazy.
Premièrement, il doit être une bastion de sécurité et de prospérité pour nos citoyens.
I think they have been chill today.
Nous devons défendre notre
It's maybe they
souveraineté,
realized every time because it's true
sécuriser
though.
nos frontières,
Because I'm like, you guys are
protéger nos
like they're
communautés
unfair.
et
I'm like
bâtir
he's
une
not
économie
that bad
qui
of a
offre
guy.
des
Because like you ever
possibilités
see
à
people like
tous
lie on somebody
les
and then you're like,
Canadiens
well, let me look
et
into it, and then
tous
they're
les
like, you know
Canadiens.
what? Not that bad.
That's why we're undertaking the strongest tightening of the criminal justice system in generations. It's why we're making the largest investment in defense in generations. It's why we're securing our borders through more CBSA.
Yeah, wait till
agents,
watch. I'm gonna put on
greater
JD Vance.
surveillance
And there you go.
and it's why we're building one Canadian economy and launching nation-building projects that will connect and transform our country. We will give ourselves far more than any foreign government can ever take from us. A core mission, while we're doing that, core mission of our government is to lower costs for Canadians. That's why on day one we
Yeah,
canceled
nobody brought up
the
eggs.
divisive consumer carbon tax.
Nobody brought
That's
up
why
anything.
we've cut income taxes for 22 million.
Like I really like
Canadians.
this Carney guy.
That's why we've cut taxes for first-time home buyers. It's why we
You don't
reduced
understand
tolls
what
on the
he's saying? That
Confederation
didn't
Bridge
stop
and
people with
Atlantic
Trump.
Ferry fares. It's why we're launched, and we have launched, Build Canada Homes, to build affordable housing construction at a pace not seen since the end of the Second World War. This past fall, we launched the automatic federal benefits for up to 5.5 million low-income Canadians to ensure that our most vulnerable get the money to which they are entitled. We also made the National School Food Program permanent so that kids have the nutrition they need at school. We've started, as we mean to go on, with a relentless focus on improving affordability to help Canadians get ahead. I said we had to do two things. The first is to be a bastion. The second is to be a beacon, an example to a world that's at sea. In a time of rising populism and ethnic nationalism, Canada can show how diversity is a strength, not a weakness. In a time of democratic decline, we can show how rights can be protected and equal freedoms endure. And in a time of rising walls and thickening borders, we can demonstrate how a country can be both open and secure, welcoming and strong, principled and powerful. There are literally
it's gonna be
billions
funny.
of people who aspire to
Just
what
notice,
we have
just
built.
notice the chat because
A
this is
pluralistic
technically a very
society that
political
works.
speech,
A public square
especially with
that's
everything
loud,
that went
diverse,
on in
and free.
Davos. But
An economy that
not
delivers
much,
broadly shared
feedback.
prosperity. A democracy that chooses to protect the most vulnerable against the powerful. Now, Canada can't solve all the world's problems, but we can show that another way is possible, that the arc of history isn't destined to be warped towards authoritarianism and exclusion. It can still bend towards progress and justice.
wow.
go. Nous ne faisons aucune illusion. Le monde est de plus en plus dangereux et divisé. Les anciennes alliances sont en train d'être redéfinies et, dans certains cas, rompues. Dans cette nouvelle ère, le leadership du Canada se définira non seulement par la force de nos valeurs, mais aussi par la valeur de notre force. Nous procédons au plus important renforcement de nos capacités militaires et sécurité depuis la Seconde Guerre mondiale. Nous disposons des ressources dont le monde a besoin.
Well, he just saying
Nous avons
normal
les
words,
talents
adding
nécessaires
the
pour
war to the
transformer
end of
ce
it.
potentiel en
Disposal,
puissance. Et
superior.
nous avons l'ambition de
Okay, now
relever
he's speaking
les
French.
défis de
That
cette
first
nouvelle
half was
ère.
cap.
Nous consolidons notre force à l'intérieur de nos frontières et renforçons notre résilience en diversifiant nos partenariats à l'étranger grâce à une approche polyvalente
At age 25, would you get
nos
life
valeurs
insurance?
et
I
qui
personally don't
fait
think you should.
progresser
I know a
nos
lot of people
intérêts.
like the whole term life insurance or whatever, where you
So
can
let
loan
me
against it,
return
but
to where I
I
began.
think you're better off buying
where
dividend
Canada
stocks at
began.
25. And then hold it till you die.
267 years
Might
ago,
pay out
this
better.
ground was soaked with blood.
But then you're dead.
Two
so
empires had
different.
collided, one had prevailed, and the question was what will come
This
next.
is a very political speech, yes.
The answer that emerged,
Again,
slowly,
especially after all the Davos
imperfectly,
drama,
not without struggle,
it's actually interesting
But
how
unmistakably.
calm people are.
was cooperation, partnership, a shared future. That response was not inevitable. That response was chosen. Chosen by British administrators who eventually saw the wisdom of cooperation. Chosen by French Canadians who eventually committed to build within the new reality. Chosen by the founders of Confederation who believed that two peoples could become partners in one country. And chosen by every subsequent generation who built on that foundation. Les traces de notre passé sont ancrées dans notre présent, dans nos deux langues officielles, dans notre système fédéral, dans notre compréhension grandissante de la notion d'appartenance. Nous sommes désormais les gardiens de cet héritage. Et il est de notre responsabilité de la faire fructifier puisque nous avons la chance de le faire. In this time of great consequence, we are choosing. We are
I
choosing
mean, he
to
said
work
Canada
together to
is an
build one
affordable
Canadian
place.
economy.
You didn't say anything.
We've made great progress
That's
over the
some of y'all
past
just
year.
been angry,
Now we
though,
have
for
to
like
redouble
a
our
minute
efforts
now.
with the
And
provinces and
I
territories.
understand, but
We're choosing to
He
find
said
new
some
markets and
ridiculous
develop new
shit.
partnerships. We've announced a dozen new economic.
I mean,
and
half of it
security
I didn't
partnerships
understand.
across four
Uvulusu
continents
say
in the last 6
azewa,
months. More
se
will
swa,
come, all will
ha.
deepen.
But like you,
We
yeah, he
choose
still
to
said
build
some
in
shit.
solidarity with Canadian workers, creating hundreds of thousands of good-paying
No one
union
taught y'all
jobs,
how to be mad at
investing
Canadian
in
politicians
apprenticeships and skills
or
training
any
so that young
politician,
Canadians
unless they got a
can have
toupee.
the careers
If
of
he had a
tomorrow.
toupee, would you act different?
On choisit de bâtir avec des ressources canadiennes, à l'aide de travailleurs de technologie et de matériaux canadiens. Nous serons nos meilleurs clients. De bâtir de manière durable, parce que nous savons que lutter contre les changements climatiques est à la fois un devoir moral et un impératif économique. We're choosing to build inclusively, in full partnership with Indigenous peoples, inclusively to ensure that AI benefits all Canadians, to respect diversity, to accept others, and to combat hate so that every Canadian feels free to be themselves and can thrive in the greatest country on earth. When we live our values, we grow as individuals and we build as a people. When we're kind, kindness grows. When we're united, unity grows. When we're Canadian, inclusive, fair, ambitious, Canada grows. Canada and the United States have built a remarkable partnership in the economy, in security, and in rich cultural exchange. But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian. News.
Okay, but like,
c'est notre pays.
so y'all don't think any PDF files work?
We choose to build a bright future.
I can't even finish the joke without cracking up, dog.
On which we
That's the
stand.
part that, how come there's not, y'all telling me
Thank you very much.
him ain't nobody, they just PDF free all of a sudden? And but the fucking watch, we'll just watch what happened when I play anything else. I'm like, what? Oh, so y'all just saved the other shit, huh? Uh-huh. This is bullshit. This is bull. Thank you. Is he coming back? He said, yeah, what's up, son? Manny. He said, yeah, what the Donald Trump, huh? What you talking about, Donald? I don't need you. I will make a deal with China. You stupid Donald. You Donald. Oh, man. Damn, he got a squad. Like, out of all of those guys, you don't have one accusation? Not even the cameraman! Come on! Y'all unfair as hell, dog. You know that? Because that's why I said I kind of agree with some of y'all when you go in, but I'm like, wait a minute, how come not one? That was like, man, either way. Well, get ready for the ICE presentation. The ICE jobs fair, it looks like. That one's gonna be fun. We'll see your guys' reaction. HYMC rocket ship, future biggest silver American flag mine. Nice. So you see what I was saying? Somebody definitely bought you that membership, huh? Well, thanks, man. But we don't like rocket ships still. I'm gonna have to, remove that one. But thank you. Do you know Aaron Adam? Oh, man. Why is Starbucks getting clapped? Let me check. C'est allez voir ce soir. Green. There's something. Oh, my gosh. That's how you open it up, the ICE fair? Oh, it's a different one. Yeah, Starbucks dying. I don't have a headline yet. Let me check. I got a price target earlier. I don't see anything. Unless there was something here. Nope. The rocket ship, because I said this like 6-7 years ago. I would tell people, I was like, I never really like fucked with rocket ships, because like anytime somebody would offer you like an investment with like a rocket ship, it was usually a terrible idea. So I just learned very early to associate that dumb shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get a text message, he's like, yo man, you should invest in this company, rocket ship, stock chart emoji, fire emoji, you're usually going to get scammed. It's like kind of like a yield above 10%. So if someone's like, yo, I got a 15% yield for you, rocket ship emoji, fire emoji, stock chart emoji, you're probably going to get fleeced. So I've just learned it early on, It's a little bit of a self-preservation. It's a very high correlation. I was correct. I don't think I'm wrong. What do you mean? Y'all, you don't remember fucking the GameStop and the NFTs and every single bubble? You're telling me they did not have all just rocket ships? And I know some of you were down with it too. At one point in your early investment career, you're like, yeah, man, that shit got a fucking rocket ship. I'm down, bro. I said, I'm down. Ooh. Yeah, so every meme coin has it. What's WAGME? I think I'm too old. I think I just started tuning. I don't know WAGME. I'm not that deep in the game, bro. I says, Lord, forgive me. C'est why oh, we're all gonna make it? What? That's it. My favorite was the trenches. I just like reminding people. I'm like, do you guys know what happened in the trenches? And they've glamorized all getting slaughtered. They glamorized it heavily. Like, yeah, we in the trenches. We're not all gonna make it there. That's not. It's actually the opposite of what happened, sir. So yeah, that's where it came from. He sold all of the gold mine. I think they own a small portion of it now, like a small amount, but he sold like 90% of that position out. Is they still doing that Jack Smith thing? I don't see anything on Starbucks yet. It dropped and then just chilled. I think the only one with follow through, I don't know, the JP Morgan's hit, but that was baby. And then the DraftKings ain't go. I still have my NFT. I should have bought a house with it, but, you know, everybody wanted me to keep it. You know, I asked everybody. I asked all of you. I was like, should I sell it at 150,000 or keep it? You're like, no, Josh, it's going to $1 million. Everybody said that to me. I think 90% of people I asked, I said, okay, we'll do it for the show. But yeah, I think it's worth like $4,000 now, $3,000 now. Yeah, it's definitely non-fungible. I don't even fucking know what that means anymore. You know that? It's actually a very common word, but we just fucking glamorized it. Starbucks. Uvu uku she alewa. That's all I got out of the Carney thing. Fucking Christina Aguilera. Shell considers sale of assets in Argentina. Vaca Moreta shale play. I think the NST's worth a couple grand now still. But, I mean, yeah. It got to 150. Well, I have it hung up in my digital real estate. You know, I got a vacation home in Snoop Doggville. So, you know, sometimes, you know, during the holidays when I feel like I should go and chill out for a little bit, I turn on my computer and then I put goggles extremely close to my eyes and then I go look at all of my artwork. No, yeah, you're right. I wish I had a decoration. I'm excited for Intel. There's a lot of people excited for it. Even rumors coming out. The question is, do you add more to gamble on it or ride anything else? But the premiums are all jacked up after a fucking 20% week. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. ARBE. They're only pricing an 8. Yeah, dude, it's moved up like 20% on the week though, or something ridiculous. So the premiums are up there, but I feel like I'm very tempted to play it before, but I have so many plays on it, I'm just gonna play it after. And then that way, if it rips, we'll make more, but then if it dips, you'll get more of the story. Because again, even after the earnings, it'll chill out for a little bit. So you might get a good play, but it very well could go nuts. But you don't need to force it. Long time. Yeah, those space stocks all kicked back into gear again. What was that other one today? ASTI? Holy shit, that went to 7? Habibi. Yeah, HIMS is going up. I think they took a hard mint. Could possibly be the reasoning. Otherwise, I don't see anything. NASDAQ sees 3 years of double-digit gains. That hasn't happened since World War II. Remember, I think there's only 3 times they're talking. Let's see.
In 2025 last year, measured against equities worldwide minus the U.S., stocks have risen around 30%, roughly double the S&P 500's gain. That's according to the MSCI's index. Here to talk about 2026, the economy, investment ideas. Great to have back with us the founder, CEO, and CIO of ARK Invest, Cathie Wood. She joins us from St. Petersburg, Florida. Cathie, great to have you here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Carol and Tim. Very happy to be here again.
Well, it's great to have you here. And I want to start with what stocks did here in the U.S. really well last year. But if you look at global stocks, you could say that there was certainly some underperformance by the U.S. You've invested in a lot of U.S. names, but also a lot outside the U.S. And I think about Chinese companies, BYD, Baidu, Alibaba. Are you looking for more opportunities outside the U.S. at this point? And I wonder if you think it's time for maybe U.S. stocks to take a little bit of a breather after 3 years of double-digit gains.
Do you believe in communism, Cathie?
Well, I think we're very focused on the deregulation, lower taxes, and what we believe will be lower inflation, much lower inflation, and lower interest rates in the U.S., and we think the combination of those is actually going to drive the returns on invested capital
I don't know about
in the
long-term,
U.S.
but that's a play I've played
relative
for 10 years.
to those in the rest of the world. And I think many people are underestimating, especially on the corporate tax side.
So if it has a big earnings, it'll hit. It could
thanks
cuck,
to the
but
new
couple of times,
depreciation
it has
schedules,
juice in it.
our
I haven't looked at the pricing,
effective corporate tax rate, not the statutory, but the effective, will drop to one of the lowest in the world at roughly 10%. Certainly near a record low for the U.S.
So do you think, Cathie, that's not priced in yet to U.S. equities? Like, have investors not realized that, and therefore it's not priced in yet?
You know, it's very interesting. Maybe a lot of your guests have been talking about the depreciation schedules, how massively they are going to encourage capital investment here in the United States. So we've never had full depreciation in year one of manufacturing facilities, full depreciation in the first year of service. That means corporations will get huge tax refunds that they will be able to reinvest into innovation, because we also equipment, domestic R&D, and software. Those 3, full depreciation, first year of service, that has been legislated. Normally we get, a few years of this, this cut and that cut. But that has been legislated. Now it's all the time. So we don't think people understand how profound some of these tax changes are.
So what does that mean for something like the AI trade specifically, Cathie, where I think people are worried about pockets of it with being in a bit of a bubble? Does it benefit everyone who is somehow associated, whether it's the chip companies, whether it's the energy companies? Do you see the benefits playing out there and giving it more room to move to the upside?
Absolutely. I mean, we're having huge build-outs of data centers and power facilities. All of that, all of those depreciation schedules will apply to this boom in investment and contribute to it. So yes,
Any
And in fact, Carol,
Yeah, please.
I was just going to say, many people think we're in a bubble, and yes, the data center spending last year was about $500 billion, and you can see all of this in our Big Ideas report. We just released it yesterday, and thank you, Bloomberg, for featuring it. But $500 billion is a 2.5 times increase from where it had been trending for years. So big increase, no doubt about it. But we think that number needs to go to 1.4 trillion in the next 5 years to accommodate the AI boom that is now underway and is going to drive productivity gains incredibly.
I want to get into that in just a moment. I'm really also piqued or interested in the healthcare aspect of it because I feel like there's a lot going on. Before we do so, we also have your 2026 outlook. And what's interesting is you note that this is an important economic historical moment. How so?
Well, we are in a technology revolution. And many people thought that the internet was a technology revolution, and to some extent it was. But today, instead of just one major platform evolving, we have 5. So robotics, energy storage, AI, blockchain technology, and multi-omic sequencing in the life science space, which we believe is the most profound application of AI, healthcare. And so this boom, if you look back at the railroad boom, the amount of investment that we saw back then was about 6% of GDP at its peak, 5 to 6%.
She said the internet
boom was more like
robots.
the auto boom in the early 1900s. It was more in the 3 to 4% of GDP range. We believe this 5 platform innovation strategy or boom is going to move to 12% of GDP. And we do believe also that productivity growth will accelerate to the 4 to 6% range and be sustained there. Normally we see a cyclical peak around there and then it falls back. We think it will be sustained, and we think that by the end of this decade, real GDP growth could be averaging more than 7% per year. Wow. And I know that sounds shocking, given that we've been at 3% for 125 years. But it is the history associated with technology revolutions, a step change up in GDP growth.
The productivity increase, the GDP growth that you are forecasting as a result of these disruptive technologies, to what extent is that the result of fewer people doing more? My question is about job losses as a result of this technology, because if everything that investors are betting on when it comes to this AI revolution comes true, it means that companies aren't going to need as many people to do a lot more. What does that look like?
Well, GDP growth at 7% plus per year tells you there's going to be a lot of economic activity, more economic activity from a sustained growth point of view than we've seen in quite some time. The history of technology is it's a net job creator. In the early 90s, when developers were evolving the internet, we could not have imagined Uber or Airbnb back then. And I think the same is true now. We cannot imagine the kinds of jobs that are going to exist in the future. And the other thing that we're excited about from a job creation point of view is we're seeing new worlds being created. And by that I mean, most of us think about Earth, but now we're moving into space. Even data centers, we think, Elon leading that charge, will start moving into space, and we won't have the not in my backyard and the bureaucracy associated with data centers. There's going to be huge job creation around the space exploration and all of the opportunities out there. And then the other one, and you'll find this in our digital assets section of Big Ideas, is the digital world, immutable private property rights. We know from economic history the best way to lift people and countries out of poverty is with private property rights that are immutable. Well, that is now moving into the digital world for the first time, thanks to blockchain technology. So we're not worried about job creation, but for those who are, because there is something happening that I know is concerning to many people, the unemployment rate for 16 to 24-year-olds
Right.
has moved to 12%. 12%, big increase. And what is that saying? That's saying that entry-level jobs are not being created the way they used to be. To those people, I say, you must have in your mind an idea for a new business, something that frustrates you, an unmet need. Well, now you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Grok, and you can have an assistant help you build out that business. Just interview for jobs, but also think about new business ideas. I think we're going to see entrepreneurial explosion here.
Well, and speaking of entrepreneurial explosion, I think about, how long you have certainly been with Tesla and a backer of Elon Musk, a long time. And I think about, when we first talked and you likened him to Mr. Einstein, Albert Einstein. But I just wonder, Elon at Davos earlier today, and he talked about the car makers' fortunes will be increasingly dependent on humanoid machines. Cathie, how are you modeling this? Into the thesis of Tesla. And is that where the growth is more so than EVs for Tesla going forward?
Without a doubt. We've always said Tesla is not an auto company. It is actually the convergence of three of the platforms I mentioned. So robotics, energy storage, and AI. Each one of those technologies, it has its own S-curve. And now they're feeding each other, and we're seeing that in robotaxis. Robotaxis, we believe, will account for 90% of Tesla's valuation by the end of the decade. We're in print at 2,600. That includes nothing for Optimus robots. And we're beginning to understand how quickly Tesla is moving on that front. Why? Because it's the convergence of the same three technologies, robotics, energy storage, and AI. So I think that price target, obviously, if Optimus is successful, and we believe it will be, we think that humanoid robots is evolving into a $26 trillion opportunity, half in the home, half in manufacturing plants.
I don't believe it till you say
We're speaking with
innovation.
Cathie Wood, CEO and CIO of ARK Invest. Cathie, you mentioned Tesla. We're talking about Tesla, the regulatory environment. Certainly, it's a less favorable regulatory environment for Tesla than it was just a few years ago, just 2 years ago, just 1 year
The
ago.
U.S. is canceling and revising
You also talked about
$83 billion
the
in energy
Trump
department
administration and
loans.
the ease of regulations
money
that we're going to
market
see through the Trump
funds fall
administration. You talked about that
$58
with
billion.
us in the past.
What is the
I'm
money
wondering,
market
a
at
year
right
into
now?
his presidency, what do you still want to see in terms of deregulation? What have you not seen yet that you want to see?
Well, I think it's constant chipping away. In his first administration, I think President Trump said for every regulation you put in place, you have to take away two. And so it's a mindset in this administration, and I think we have it. We're seeing amazing deregulation in the healthcare, on the healthcare front. And I don't think many people understand that the FDA has decided that animal testing is no longer necessary
Mine isn't updated.
for
7.6 trillion, I think, so.
monoclonal antibodies. And I don't think they're as aware of how the FDA is harnessing AI itself and encouraging the companies it regulates to start using AI. So I think it's a mindset shift, and I think it is happening. I think the most profound deregulation is taking place in the energy realm, and that's not just oil and gas and so forth. It's nuclear. If we, in the 70s, had not started regulating nuclear the way we did and driving construction costs up, electricity prices today would be 40% lower than they are. And so we think as nuclear comes on stream, that it will serve to take some of the edge off of the increase to electricity
there was a headline like that with Denmark
data
earlier
centers are causing
about
now.
selling some of their
Hey, Kathy,
pension.
just big broad in terms
that's the
of,
big
you
thing
know,
going on.
all of
I
the
mean, see
different
if we
funds
start
that you
to
have and the
react. I think it was
exposure.
around
I'm just
here.
curious where you're seeing flows in and out. We've done some reporting on this, and we know some of your funds certainly showing some interest among investors, but we also talked about earlier this week about some of the withdrawals from the ARC Innovation. What can you tell us specifically when it comes to flows and performance so far this year? What's working? What are investors interested in?
Well, we have had year to date, I think,
MDT had some
ETFs
study
have roughly $1
couple
billion
minutes ago.
in inflows, heavily skewed to space exploration and defense for obvious reasons. And then autonomous technology and robotics. I think that autonomous taxis and drones, very big parts of that fund as well. And then our flagship strategy is also starting to inflow. It had been held down by the multi-omics theme. So this is what we used to call the genomic revolution. And it was a very difficult space, even though the innovation was taking place. The investment markets were not interested in it for a couple of reasons. One, lots of investment necessary, therefore not very high, if any, cash flows, and the cash cushions needed to be built up. We think they've done a lot in the last few years to become more efficient. And so we're beginning to see outperformance from that space as well, because now many people are beginning to understand we're seeing cures to disease. We're seeing early diagnosis thanks to AI and sequencing technologies.
I want to pursue this further with you at a later date and some of the companies that are in that. Just 30 seconds though. What's your best idea, you think, for 2026 at this point? And I know there's a lot in your research, but is there a best idea or narrative? Just quickly, if you could.
Well, so the top three stocks in our flagship are Tesla. We think it has miles to go. We do take profits from time to time, but it could break out here in a big way as more and more analysts do their homework on robo-taxis. CRISPR Therapeutics has moved into the second position. That company is curing sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia and has its eyes set on not just rare diseases, but curing the bad cholesterol problem, especially for those who have hereditary issues in that realm. That could be an enormous market, and I don't think anyone is doing the modeling work there the way we are.
I love it. All right. Hopefully we can check back with you as the year plays out. Kathy, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Cathie Wood, of course, be well, former founder, CEO, of course, and CIO of ARK Invest, joining us from Florida. I just was doing a quick check on ARK Invest, and we're looking at the ETF up about 2.6% in today's session. It's up about 4% year to date.
Yeah, outperformed the S&P 500 last year. In the last year, up 32% in the last year versus the S&P 500 up about 14%.
This is what I want to
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, CRISPR. I don't know if she'll move it. I mean, CRISPR had a lot of things there already. It's already up 3 today. But yeah, there's a lot of biotechs. There's a bunch of biotechs out there right now, and those have been getting a lot of hype. No, what else is there? I'm going through the options, the crazy ones of the day. There's a lot of 30% movers, man. Let's see. CRISPR, I mean, I don't know if it's necessary. It's investigational. I don't know about, maybe down the line it could be a long-term play. I mean, if you have a lot of value and good things and want to take some risk, I like the idea of gene editing as an investment. There's a lot of people, I mean, for years we've talked about it, and CRISPR has been the leader, but I don't know if it's going to give you the same safety. But if they ever become like a drug that's offered and it becomes like a real established thing, then yeah, it's going to kill it. But it's more investigational rather than something that's like really selling for now. What other ones are there? I remember that one. Yeah, bro, there's a lot of 30% movers. Funko, Odyssey, Marine. Booz Allen, they have earnings on January to literally tomorrow. That has a fuck ton of options on it. Even though it's put the call ratio is 39. Interesting. Royalty Pharma, Fivin. I'm going through these. I remember seeing Omex last year. Oh, is JD on? Fuck yeah. Are you guys ready? Let's see.
I actually think that there's some hope, some reason to think that there's going to be better cooperation in the weeks and months to come. I think that because I've talked to some of the local officials here, I think there are reasons to believe that these people are going to step up and actually ask the cops to protect our ICE officers when they're being assaulted, who are going to ask the local courts to cooperate with getting criminal sex offenders out of our community. That's a good thing. That's the good news, and that's something I'm going to work on when I get back to Washington. But please, if you're a local official, if you're the mayor of this town, if you have any influence over those people, just tell them to cooperate. Because we could have immigration enforcement operate as smoothly and without the chaos that we see in Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee, or even rural parts of the state of Minnesota. All we need is a little cooperation. I guarantee we're going to do the best to be professional, to respect people's rights, to not do anything that we don't have to do in order to enforce immigration laws, but it would make our lives a lot easier, it would make our officers a lot safer, and it would make Minneapolis much less chaotic if we had a little bit of
still been dropping there. Again,
from
you
the
had
state
that
and
little
local officials.
headline
With that,
on
I'll
the
shut up and take some
European
questions.
bond
Thank you, guys.
selling.
A local school district here is alleging ICE agents detaining a 5-year-old after preschool on Tuesday. We've also seen multiple American citizens detained by ICE or harassed by ICE in the last 6 weeks. Are you proud of how your administration is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you know, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We had just left Toledo, Ohio this morning for an economic messaging event. And I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy, and I think to myself, oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I found,
the 5-year-old was selling fat.
Was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then they went, when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. When what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America, if the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense. Now, you know, there are so many of these cases like that where if you just understand the context, there have been a number of situations that I've looked into personally where I say, wait a second, we don't want ICE arresting American citizens. They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens. So then I look into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer. You can't have that happen. And of course they have to defend themselves. And of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a law enforcement officer. Now, this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want these arrests to be so chaotic? No, we don't. These guys want it least of all, but if we had a little cooperation from local and from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down in this community.
President!
Go ahead.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to suggest...
Yeah, well, you can go next.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'll take both.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to... After the Renee Good shooting, the administration seemed to suggest that ICE officers enjoyed near complete immunity. But today you told the Washington Examiner that when appropriate, the administration might take disciplinary actions against ICE agents. So is that a change of opinion? And if so, why the change of tone?
No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something that federal officials would look into. We don't want these guys to have kangaroo courts. We want them to actually have real due process, real investigation, because again, sometimes they're accused of wrongdoing, and it turns out when you learn the context, they didn't actually do anything wrong. But of course we're going to investigate these things. Of course we're investigating the Renee Good shooting, but we're investigating them in a way that respects people's rights and that ensures that if somebody did something wrong,
I don't like
yes, they're going to face
Petrobras.
disciplinary action, but we're not
Too
going
much
to
going
judge
on
them
with
in
the
the court
government.
of public opinion. I've spoken at length on this particular case. I think that Renee Good's death is a tragedy. I also think that she rammed an ICE officer with her car. So the tragedy here is multi-layered. The tragedy is there was a misunderstanding. The tragedy is that Renee Good lost her life. The tragedy is that you have ICE officers who are going into communities where they're worried that if they call 911, no one's going to come to help them. That is what produces this terrible situation, and it's something state and local officials here in Minnesota could solve. Yes, sir.
Can you give us a message towards March for Life tomorrow, especially regarding this cooperation and family values? It's a shame that kids have to get caught up in all this, and towards that, sir. Well,
it is a shame that kids have to get caught up in this. I am speaking at March for Life tomorrow. I'm pro-life, and I'm very excited to speak there. I want to talk about local law enforcement, but, I am, as a child, I saw people in my family get arrested. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking, it's chaotic, it's traumatic for the kids. I can recognize that, and I can recognize that we got to support these kids, while on the other hand, saying that just because you're a parent doesn't mean that you get complete immunity from law enforcement. And I think we have to hold both of those thoughts in our head at the same time. We've got to be sympathetic to the kids who are caught up in some of these enforcement actions. We've also got to say we have to enforce the law without bias, with fairness, but we've got to enforce the law.
Mr. Vice President!
That girl loud. Mr. Vice President!
You said there was an altercation in St. Cloud. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the takeaways. I've talked with these guys before we came on the stage, but during our roundtable and some of the other conversations we've had, communication, we absolutely want to ensure there's good communication between federal officials and state and local officials, and I'm sure that we can do better on that. We absolutely want to make sure that we are communicating, but that also requires a two-way street, and that's the point that I make about state and local officials. These guys will absolutely communicate with state and local officials. They'll tell people if they have to do an enforcement operation in a particular municipality, but part of that is they also want to ensure that if they're communicating about their whereabouts, that's not being used as a weapon against them. Sometimes they tell people where they're going, and then they find out that their agents' faces are on the, on Reddit or on some social media thread saying, here's this guy, we know he's going to be at this place at this exact time. So that communication has got to be a two-way street. These guys are going to communicate with business leaders, with local officials, with state officials, but we also need the local officials and state officials to do a good job of protecting people when they're in their communities. We're not asking, by the way, we don't want any police officer in this community, in this state, to help us do immigration enforcement. We've got that. But if a protester shows up and that protester turns violent against our immigration officers, we really, really need the cooperation of our local partners.
Well, it's been 5 minutes. Y'all already compared him to Judas.
Lower the temperature.
Y'all asked him about his interpretation, and now you have called him a sellout. Why are y'all so nice to Canadians? Mr. President.
So I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream
Bro,
media.
he's so
It's
much
missing a
like he
whole
is.
lot
He's
of
so much
context, and we
more like
appreciate the context.
nicer
It
than
makes
Donald
sense.
Trump.
No one is
Donald
saying,
Trump be like, "You're dumb.
There are exceptions. For example,
You step in front of a car, they'll kill you. Don't be dumb."
Inside a house.
He's like,
They
well,
don't need a
actually,
warrant to go
well, what
inside
did you
that
expect
person's
us to
house.
do?
There are very narrow
That's all.
exceptions to the warrant
We have
requirement.
several
For law
options that we could be
enforcement officers don't need
pursuing here
a
in the
warrant
name of
if,
being
for
united.
example, they're an imminent threat of their lives. But what we've said,
What would
and
you
I
do if you had an
propose
imminent threat on
what
your
the Department
life?
of Homeland Security really has proposed in the Department of Justice.
You know what it's like
is
being
that we
on
can
Reddit?
get administrative warrants.
I'm sure you wouldn't like
enforce
that.
Administrative immigration law. Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say.
Well,
no,
I'll
and
see.
the
I'll
courts
show you
will
what I'll
say,
do.
no, we would follow
I don't
that
even
law.
think it was that
No one
bad.
is talking
I
about
feel
doing
like they could have
immigration
done
enforcement
more.
without a warrant. We're talking
Disgusting.
about different types of warrants that exist in our
Disgust.
system. Typically, what happens, not always, but typically in the immigration system, those are handled by administrative law judges. So we're talking about getting warrants from those administrative law judges. And then, of course, with other cases, you get judges or you get warrants from a judge. That's very consistent with the practice of American law. I'm sure the courts will weigh in on that, but we're never going to enter somebody's house without some kind of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer or they have to do something in order to protect themselves. Go ahead.
Do you believe that you can forcibly enter with an administrative warrant, or would that be a violation?
Well, our understanding is that you can enforce the immigration laws of the country under an administrative order if you have an administrative warrant. That's what we think.
Okay, you're still
That's our
going down here.
understanding of the
I mean,
law. That's
Power
our
Hour in
best
5
faith
minutes.
attempt to understand the law.
That little Reuters
Again,
thing,
this
you
is
have been
something
selling
courts
off
will weigh in
slowly
on.
from it.
I won't speak to that, but yes, most immigration
Trump,
law
United
in our
States
country is
intends
not
to
done
bid
through
for
the
World
criminal
Expo
system with the
2025.
judge. It's done through the administrative law system. We're going to continue that practice just as they did in the Biden administration or any other administration.
Was there anything that you heard or saw today that would cause you to want the president to invoke the Insurrection Act? And then also, did you meet or talk to the ICE agent who's involved in the neighborhood incident?
I did not talk to him today. I talked to some of his colleagues. Your question on the Insurrection Act is interesting. I've tried to understand this as well as I possibly could, and my understanding is what the Insurrection Act, what invoking the Insurrection Act would allow the federal government to do, is that it would allow the federal government to use the military for local law enforcement operations. Right now, we don't think that we need that. Now, the president could change his mind. Of course, things could get worse. But right now, we think that federal law enforcement officers can do
There's
the
a
job of
Reuters
federal
article
law
about
enforcement. Now,
funds
what I do
selling
worry
in
about,
Europe.
again,
They're
is that
selling
the chaos
treasuries.
gets
But then,
worse
like an
if
hour
more
or
and
two
more
before
ICE
that, there
agents
was
start
another
getting assaulted, if other law
like
enforcement
wealth
officers
fund
start getting
rumor
assaulted,
saying that they were
that
going to
would be a
sell
real
U.S.
problem.
stocks.
But again,
So it's kind of
we
this
have
idea of
so
Europeans
much
either selling
federal
stocks
law
or
enforcement
bonds.
resources here right now. We have so many people.
I don't know if it
We
correlates
do not wanna
directly,
have
but
it.
it is
I do not
as we
want
started
so many
dropping
ICE
around here.
officers in Minneapolis right now. I mean, good Lord, it's really, really freaking cold outside. But they're here not even to enforce immigration laws.
Really
but
freaking
to
cold.
protect the
How would
people
you
from
like
the
it?
Rioters. That's an absurd state of affairs. And we
All right,
wouldn't
dropping a little
need
bit more
it
at
if we had
VWAP.
a little bit more cooperation from the Minneapolis Police Department. Again,
I think it's a
Minneapolis Police
broader
Department,
set of
my
plays here,
understanding
but
is
you have
the
certain tech
actual
that's holding
beat
up.
cops on the ground.
So
They would
SPY's
love to help
dropping,
out,
but I wouldn't
they're
call
being
it
told by
like tech
somebody.
sell-off. I don't
if
know
it's
what
Mayor
it is,
Frey,
honestly.
They're being told by somebody not to
Because there's a lot of
cooperate
things
at
still
all.
holding up
What
pretty
kind of
good.
person tells their local police don't protect somebody if they're being assaulted by a rioter? It's crazy, and it's got to stop. Yes.
Just cut it out. Yo, GitLab is 6% now. What the fuck?
Well,
I've been
I think
seeing
your
that, but I
question
didn't think it was
assumes
that
something
much.
That's not necessarily in evidence, which is that when there are American citizens who have been caught up in some of these enforcement operations, very often
I don't
it's
see
people
anything.
who
They
have
released the
assaulted a
agent
law
platform
enforcement
earlier.
officer. They're not being arrested because they violated the immigration laws. They're being arrested
GitLab
because
up
they punched
6.
a federal law enforcement officer. That is a totally reasonable thing. Now, to the accusation of racial profiling, look, it's something that we take very seriously. We will take accusations of racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up. But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color. They're looking for people who violated the actual law, the law of our immigration system in this country. And so long as we had more cooperation, I think they could do these things in a much more targeted way. They would actually know where some of the bad guys are. I mean, again, you hear things that are hard to believe, but I've confirmed that they are true. Sex offenders who we're trying to get off the streets, who the local officials won't tell us their last known address. So then the local officials say, oh my God, these guys are doing widespread targeted enforcement operations, when in reality, we would love to just go to one house. The local officials won't tell us which one house to go to.
Mr. Vice President.
Yeah, GitLab people are just getting hyped on it, but I don't see anything.
Their own off-duty officers, so police officers, are being targeted.
There's like old takeover. There's stuff people comparing it to Claude takeover rumor. There's nothing. It's dry today in terms of like real headlines.
Department of Homeland Security, if local law enforcement says their own officers are being targeted, and they described it as, quote, civil rights violations in our streets.
So I saw one story about this and one local police officer who said this, and look, certainly is it a concern? Absolutely. The first thing we have to figure out is whether it happened or not, and then if it happened, whether there is a good explanation or a bad explanation. And of course, if somebody violated the law, if somebody racially profiled, if somebody violated the rights of one of our fellow citizens, that is something we will take very seriously. What I also would say is that many of the most viral stories of the past couple of weeks have turned out to be, at best, partially true. So we want to try people based on reality, based on the truth, based on context. We're not going to prejudge people just because of a viral social media story that turned out to be half false.
Mr. Vice President.
President, a quick question. About the roundtable unitary, the Zoom that happened, did you invite anybody with an opposing point of view to get an idea of why people are upset here? And just as a quick follow-up, have you reached out to Governor Walz at all in an attempt to turn down the tent?
So I haven't talked to Governor Walz on this particular trip. A number of members of our administration, I believe our chief of staff, spoke to the governor and has been in constant contact with his staff over the past week. We've been in my office in constant contact with people here on the ground in Minneapolis. There were certainly people at our roundtable with opposing views, and look, I don't even know, whether it's public, but yes, we met with people with opposing views here at the roundtable. I wanted to get a perspective from everybody, but also, of course, offer my opinion that with a little bit more cooperation, we could lower the chaos. We're going to keep on doing that. If Governor Walz wants to call me, we'll absolutely continue talking. I will say that my sense of this situation, having talked to these guys for a long time, is this is primarily a law enforcement issue. This is the Attorney General, this is the local mayor, this is all of the organs of local and state law enforcement.
Okay, spies
That's
still
who
dumping.
we focus on, but we've certainly been in communication with the governor and his office as well.
Vice President.
Yeah.
So local law enforcement obviously hasn't been really helping out with the agents who've been assaulted repeatedly. What's the plan if nothing changes there here locally and this operation has attracted thousands of agents? Are there any plans to go to any other cities from here?
Well, right now we're focused on Minneapolis because that's where we have the highest concentration of people who have violated our immigration laws, and that's also, frankly, where we see the most assault of our law enforcement officers. Our plan is very simple. If you assault a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to do everything that we can to put you in prison. It's very simple. And most of these protesters, as much as I may disagree with their politics, most of them have been peaceful, but a lot of them have not been peaceful. And if you go and storm a church, if you go and assault a federal law enforcement officer, we are going to try very hard. We're going to use every resource of the federal government to put you in prison. Respect people's rights. Respect people's rights to worship. Respect people's rights to do their job without being assaulted. If you follow that basic principle, the Trump administration is going to do everything that we can to protect your rights. But if you go after somebody, if you assault somebody, if you make a 9-year-old girl cry because you walked into her church and harassed her, we're going to go after you with every single tool that we have.
Vice President.
Yeah.
That's what a fascist. That's what a fascist would say. Right, guys?
So what do you say to people here in Minnesota who say,
Oh, respect my rights. Oh.
And their tactics that are making them feel less.
Well, one thing I would say, first of all, we saw in 2025 the biggest one-year drop in murders in the history of the United States of America. Significant reductions in violent crime. The reason why we have
do
less
next?
violent
Put
crime
murderers
is really
in
two
jail?
reasons. Number one,
Huh.
because we're enforcing
Fucking
the immigration
fascists.
laws and getting very violent criminals out of our country. And number two, because we're enforcing our criminal laws and putting guys who assault and murder behind bars. This is part of a broad effort to make us safe. And the
I
chaos
think Apple
that
is the
people
only
are
one.
seeing,
All
and
the
I
other tech
understand there
names
is
did pretty good.
frustration
Microsoft
with the
gave back a
chaos.
little bit.
I'd say that we're doing everything that we can to lower the temperature, and we would like federal and local, state and local officials to meet us halfway. So much, so.
Perceiving it correctly. Are you saying that they're not seeing that it's the tactics or the presence of the officers that are...
Look, I'm sure that people are seeing a lot of things that would make any member of our national community feel very upset, but I also think that if you understand this in context, this is the inevitable consequence of a state and local government that have decided that they're not going to cooperate with immigration enforcement at all. In fact, they're going to aggressively not cooperate. So here's a basic illustration of this. If you are an ICE officer and you have to arrest a person who's committed assault and is also an illegal alien, but the state and local officials won't help you identify that person, many of the things that people in Minneapolis are seeing that give them pause, that frustrate them, that worry them, that make them feel like things are too chaotic, many of these things are coming from the fact that there's no cooperation with state and local law enforcement. And I guess what I would tell people, again, many of whom are justifiably concerned and worried about what they're seeing in their communities, is why are we not seeing it anywhere else? We're seeing this level of chaos only in Minneapolis. LA and Chicago, we had some problems there. Pretty much every jurisdiction where these guys are operating, you don't see the same level of chaos, you don't see the same level of violence, you don't see the problems that we're seeing in Minneapolis. Maybe the problem is unique to Minneapolis, and we believe that it is. And it's a lack of cooperation between state and local law enforcement.
I'm seeing the
and
video
federal
you
law
sent me.
enforcement. Sir.
It's crazy, bro.
ICE has been operating here for years with less pushback than we're seeing right now. And even the St. Paul police chief recently said, is there not a way to find common ground without scaring the hell out of people in the community? Those were his words. And I just wonder, with this Operation Metro Surge, is any part of it meant to send a form of political message to the leaders here in Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota? And I know you talked about you've been in touch with the governor's offices and the mayor's offices, but why have you not been able to speak to them directly? Have they not been willing to do so?
Well, look, I have spoken to some of the people in Minnesota directly. I spoke to some of them today. I spoke to others in the past. And again, our staff has been in very direct contact with pretty much every official with any influence or any power in Minneapolis. But no, we're not trying to send another vehicle. We're trying to enforce the law. And unfortunately, what has happened is that as we've enforced the law, there's been this weird reaction, again, unique to this city. This is not a common thing across the United States of America. There's been a very unique, very Minneapolis-specific reaction to our enforcement of federal immigration laws. What I'm trying to do here today is understand why that is. What is it about Minneapolis that has become so chaotic? What are the specific types of cooperation that we need? Look, I don't need Tim Walz or Jacob Frey or anybody else to come out and say that they agree with J.D. Vance or Donald Trump on immigration. I just don't need that. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives. Simple things like that, simple changes in how they're approaching immigration enforcement would make this work a lot better. It would make Minneapolis' streets a lot safer, and it would make this whole thing a lot less traumatic for this community. I'll take one more question.
Mr. Vice President.
Go ahead.
You said that it's time to turn down the temperature. Does that include changes to both ICE and CBP tactics that we've seen employed on
So we've got Judas, sellout, and now we have martial law set up. Okay. Believe me, I'm not an advocate for martial law, but I agree with his sentiments on some of this Minneapolis shit. Good times.
Yeah, look, if I was going to list the 5 agencies locally and statewide that I'm most worried about, I wouldn't put the Department of Corrections on that list. I think that while there are certain things we'd like to see more from them, they've hardly been the worst offenders. You agree with that, guys? That's a fair assessment. But I think you talked about tactics and you talked about the response to things. Look, we don't want to employ tactics that we don't employ the kind of tactics that are only necessary when violence is committed against officers. That is these guys' directive, and that's what we're going to try to do. And again, the president said this a couple of days ago. Whenever you have a law enforcement
Lido's
operation,
OpenAI
even if
deploying AI to
99.99%
transform
of the
federal
guys
operations.
do everything perfectly, you're going to have people that make
Ligos.
mistakes. That is the nature of law enforcement. What I do think that we can do is, working with state and local officials, we can make the worst moments of chaos much less common, and all they've got to do is meet us halfway. These guys want to communicate with them. They want to talk to the local business leaders. Many of the people standing behind me are members of the Minneapolis community.
I mean,
Many
we listened to
officials I
like
met
30
today
minutes of
who
French
work in federal
Canadian. Y'all were
immigration
very,
enforcement. This is their home.
very
They
docile
love this
comparatively.
place. These are their neighbors. They want this to work a lot more smoothly. I think that we can get there. We just got to work at it a little bit, and we need some cooperation from state and local officials. The last thing that I'll say is I just hope they give it. This is a beautiful city. I've only been here a few times. I love it, even in this weather. I love Minneapolis. We could do a lot better. We could do a lot more with more cooperation. The Trump administration, the
Laugh
directive
now,
that I
but
got
California's
from the President of the United
next.
States is meet these
Okay,
guys
Bane.
halfway.
Shit, I
Work
got a
with
farm
them so
and
that
guns.
we can make these
I'm
immigration
running.
enforcement operations successful.
I'm already ran away,
without
bro.
endangering our ICE
I live in the
officers,
mountains.
and so that we can turn down the chaos.
I boil my
a little
own water.
bit.
You know how much
I think
gold I
a
got
lot,
20 years ago?
But
Because this shit.
For us,
I was scared 20
to do
years
that,
ago, dog.
We need some help
20
from
years
state
ago.
and local officials. We will keep
Okay,
on
like
working
15.
with them, and so long as they're willing to work
I'm
with us,
fucking old.
they will always find a partner in public safety and law enforcement in the Trump administration. Thank you all.
I'll clap.
Brazil. Cold up here.
Brazil. All right, good job. Good job, guys. Well, that's all. I'm just saying, cut it out. Oh, the White House still has him playing. Damn, and they're still grilling the guy, the Jack Smith. And then you got Paris Hilton in front of Congress.
We're here
That's
today
hot.
for the first step, but obviously this is happening all around the world.
That's exactly what's happening all around the world.
Everyone around the world.
Just talking about AI.
So,
How do you guys feel about Paris Hilton? Do you guys have anything to say about Paris Hilton? How do you feel about Paris Hilton and democracy? No? Well said. Well, either way, it's Power Hour. You have 50 minutes. It's hot.
I think it's really incredible when women come together.
And Silva. Just good. Y'all will chill out when it turns off. I'm glad we got to listen to the Canada stuff first. That was fun. There you go. Oh my God. Don't worry, you guys will be good. You guys will be good. Is it worth selling gold and silver for a rental property? If it's a good price, yeah. Believe me, I think we've had this talk every day. I really want to sell. But I really want to sell my gold and silver, but if I did, I would have sold it for a lot cheaper. So I don't know when this is going to stop, but if it'll pay for a down payment, I mean, why not? As long as you get a good deal, I'm not against it. Literally every day since silver hit 60, bro. And now it's almost double. Isn't that crazy? It's easy to sell. I mean, if you're really willing to, like, especially at the current prices, if you're willing to hunt a little bit, you can sell it for a good price. You know what I'm saying? You could literally, you could really go and sell it. So you'll get a good deal. There's people, I mean, we called around. You could find it. Saw cat of it guy. Sly. Paris Hilton. I actually like Paris Hilton. I mean, I haven't followed up with her since, what was that show called? with Nicole Richie. That was like 2002. It's probably literally 20 years ago. But yeah, I haven't followed up. I remember she was an icon, bro. I don't know how much Hilton she holds. We don't talk about the hotels though. You know, that's one of the bigger lobbies in the world, and like bigger like ownership. People don't talk. They don't want to talk about Marriott and Hilton. I mean, we're gonna find out with the tax stuff about real estate. In terms of, you know, Cathie Wood was kind of telling you, but I agree with the tax stuff and the low tax rate. You know, give it another month or two. Let some of the protests die down. Let the weather get a little better, and then we'll really start to see where real estate's gonna go. But that'll also depend on jobs and a couple of other things. But I think it's still gonna be like last year, where it'll be place by place, definitely location based. Might be the second Green Thursday in a row. I keep forgetting about that. No more chest to the sun? No, we got chest to the sun, man. I've been a little sick the last couple days. We did some push-ups though today. We moved around. Tried my best. Got y'all in there. But yeah, man, I definitely think your posture is good. Change your mind. So lunatic, you do this every fucking day. I don't know if you've noticed. But you remember last time you spent like an hour, show me the evidence, and then I'd show you the evidence. So man, if you could do me a favor and take your bullshit to Reddit, I would appreciate it. You know, you see how I'm giving you the olive branch, not banning you, and I'm tolerating your shit, like, you know, or your beautifulness, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, why don't you just go on Reddit or go to other chat rooms and convince them? Because we like money here. And we're already convinced of the other stuff, but like, you know, you do this every day, brother, every day. I don't, unless you want to talk to me about Mark Carney. Do you have a stance on Canadian politics? Because everybody was hella silent, you know, and that was a very political speech that's actually more pertinent to where the market is at right now. But remember last time I told you have exhausted my patience? It's still at E, dog. It's still at E, so you're going to have to make a decision, especially if you call this your community. You know, very, very simple. Very, very simple, man. I don't know if you've seen the feedback from your other peers in here. I think they still have that. Stream alerts, that's a symbolic price. We closed stream alerts last year. I have not offered people stream alerts again. I wanted to encourage people to pay attention, lock in, before we even had locked in. I was talking about it today. I mean, I'm not trying to like talk shit or bother people, but like, you know, the reality is like I gave people a lot of like life-changing opportunities last year, and they kind of turned into Reddit boy over here, and they really just focused on the other stuff. And then like literally I had more people complain to me about making shit $5 after a lot of those plays hit. So I don't know. I was considering opening up stream alerts this year, but I still haven't made a decision on that. We want to open it up? I'll flip a coin. But if we do it, it's not. If you already signed up for stream alerts, I think that will be the change. I don't want any old people on it. I think y'all already had your shot. So at the end of the day, it's still, you know, I want you to take advantage. Again, even right now, there's a lot of stuff, bro. If you're really listening, you're going to get play ideas. I mean, everything I talked to you about at the beginning of this year, they already made some moves. We're getting opportunities. Even yesterday with your delay or not, you still had a banger. So yeah, man, I just want, if you really want it, bro, you got opportunity here. Yeah, but you got to make the most of it. You can't rely upon me. I'll give you some awesome ideas at a very timely manner. That's what I believe in. I don't know if you guys noticed that. That was something I talked about a lot, because like a lot of people will give you the right idea at the wrong time. And you know, I don't think I'm perfect and I make my mistakes, but I definitely try to give you them at a good time. Like, you know, I think the right play, the right idea, you know, sometimes my problem is being too early, but yeah, just the right thing at the right time goes a long way. But yeah, we've had a lot of shit, man. And I didn't make any changes until after everybody kind of proved to me that they didn't even care about that shit, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. There was like $700 or $270,000 That was before any all members. That was before any locked in. And not one person. It's just like, dog, even the last couple days, bro. You guys see it, man. I think some people just want to yap about the politics and not. And, like, I like the politics. I mean, I brought it up, and I'm very clear on my stance. But I obviously use it to either protect myself or make money. I hope you do the same. I mean, that's why I offer it to everybody. But, yeah, man. That's why it's just, like, if you want it, I would love to help. You know, but if you're not really willing to like run it yourself, then I don't think I'm as effective. But if you are like, and you know, you pair me up with the right king who is willing to seek, I think we could do a lot of damage. But it also gets very emotional too, and you got to be able to manage that and that temperament. So we'll see. Maybe I'll find out by the end of this quarter. You know, I freed up the chat. I haven't even banned anybody all week, bro. I've been letting y'all yap away. I haven't unbanned everybody, which I think helped too, because that way if people, you know, constantly banned, they usually like fuck it up for everybody. So I think that's been a nice change, because most of you are chill, bro. I I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? And the same set of fucking abracadabras come out and they get all political. But at the end of the day, it's like, we'll see. We'll see by quarter one. Let's wrap up this quarter. I mean, we already got long-term plays, long-term doing good. We're starting off this year with 1,000%ers, a couple of hitters, not like last year, but still making some moves. We'll see where we're at by quarter one, and then we could talk some stream alerts and other shit. But in the meantime, I mean, my sentiment still remains the same, and I encourage you to make the most of your time here. Please don't. You don't need to pay me money, but you do need to pay attention. And if you're going to pay for shit to not really use it, whether that's your attention or money, I'm not a fan of that, and I don't think you should waste your time or money. But at the same time, if you're willing to really give me your time, I would love to make it profitable. I really, really do. I take a lot of pride in that, but I need the right people, man. So you got to use it, brother. You got to use it. Put away 10. Well, that's what I've been telling people, so maybe at the right time, bro. But take 10% of your 10%. You could put that for the gambling, but just don't let it get a hold of you, and then you'll be good. I said it earlier today. You build the foundation. You build the long term, and you really control the speculative, it'll add to your life. But if you try to fucking you bite the apple, dude, and you turn it into that, it'll be bad. You miss the watch list. Well, you should get the locked in then. I think the locked in that has your watch list, you're gonna have a real-time stream, and if you already know how to trade a little bit, that will give you a nice advantage for gambling. But in the meantime, you're gonna have to wait on my decision for any sort of stream alerts. Yeah, GitLab, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened with that. Like I said, people just rumoring and buying and all sorts of shit, but they moved. Let me see if I can find you one. These guys are crazy. IPOs. I don't, SPACs are scammy. IPOs, I have a criteria that works till this day. It's all supply and demand. So that's what I'm saying. I know, like, I've known how they've adjusted it, and they try to scam you, but it all comes down to supply and demand. So IPOs just look at the supply, and if it could turn the float at a fair price, you'll have a good shot. But if it can't turn the float at a premium, it's gonna get fucked usually. And then give it a little bit, and then after that, it'll do its thing. The market is in a state of euphoria. Yes and no. You look in some areas, I think without a doubt, I think the Russell is a pile of dog shit, to be honest with you, but that's benefiting off the run it hot theme. But I mean, shit, it's hot shit. But at the same time, like the thing I was yelling about last year, all the value plays, dude, there are some of the best companies in the world, and they're a little higher now, but there was some of the best companies in the world trading at steep discounts. And I think very fair valuations, and that's why I don't mind picking those up. I think they're depressed instead of euphoric, and that was the opportunity. You got suspended? Bro, how did you get suspended? GitLab, not GitHub. GTLB. How'd you get suspended, bro? I told you, they don't suspend people in California. You know that? You could literally assault a student and they won't suspend you. It's amazing. Yeah, bro, what the fuck are you doing, Douglas? You gambling in class? Is that why? Yeah, IPO criteria is undefeated, bro. How do you feel about Discord IPO? I mean, homegrown terrorism is at an all-time high. I think it'll be a good IPO. There's a lot of good companies IPOing. It's not about the company as much as how scammy the IPO is. When they take it to market, it's how they offer the shares and how they do it. The premium, that's the thing that sucks. That's what's going to be the difference between making money or not. I saw this one. It did 50% of the volume in 10 minutes, and then it slowed down after that. And I think right now, this is the offering, 14 million, I believe, or 11 million. So it did a little bit more than the float, but now it was at a 30 to 13% premium the whole time. Yeah, GitLab is rocketing, bro. Again, we saw it earlier. I thought it was nothing, but then it just started fucking pumping. Then we were talking about those rumors, but there's really nothing driving it. I think just a bunch of traders and then some options activity. You just had your phone out? That's crazy. Back in my day, you weren't allowed to have phones, but I feel like in the modern era, that's not like that crazy. Foreign ownership of U.S. debt rises to all-time high. I said, "Sell America." Hold on. Oh yeah, guys. And that's the thing. I don't know if you've seen it, because everybody keeps talking about the bonds, and we were focusing on the bond blowout this week. But one of the weirdest parts is that bond spreads are the tightest they've ever been, and that's weird because like tight bond spreads means liquidity. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. So. Very, very weird narratives and realities at play. You got detention because you had a pager on you in high school in 1995? Holy shit. Dog, I remember pagers. Can we bring pagers back? Trump advisor Navarro. This week's GDP numbers show Trump manufacturing boom is taking root. Bro, you said a pager in night. Are you Jay-Z, bro? I had the pager. Moved to Sac from Phoenix. I like Sac. Sacramento is like somewhat more affordable. Like I know you do have the taxes and shit, but they got good property out there. I know it gets cold. I've been to Sacramento once. I actually went to the Capitol, believe it or not, back in the day, but I never got to explore. It's a boring around the Capitol, but you know, Sacktown, baby. Enjoy it. Are you gonna get a crib, or you already get one? You want to be homeschooled next year? Well, you're about to be a senior, bro. Just fucking finish it out. I mean, if you already made it through public education without cutting your dick off, excuse my language, then I think you're good, dude. So, honestly, I just finish it out. You might get some senioritis. Don't get expelled. I would do good on your fucking SAT or whatever. Or just, yeah, man, I'd really plan your future. You're an adult now. I would start thinking about that. But yeah, I don't think you need to get homeschooled. I did bad my senior year. I just ditched, but I don't think that's a good advice. Do you lock in your 5.6 or should you haggle with the builder? I would haggle with the builder, but like, are they already giving you a discount? I've seen new builds go for 4 though. So ask them, and then whoever's doing the commission, and ask them about that stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. I would see, because right now, I mean, you're like 0.5 below the mortgage rate. So if it's a new build, I don't know. You could just tell them you're getting cold feet, and just be like, well, I saw this other one. Yeah, I would ask. I think you could get lower, to be honest. Sac reminds you of Phoenix. Yeah, bro. I've heard good things about Sac. That's it. It's just boring around the capital, but and then it's out there, but it's the state capital, and there is some cheap property. Like that's why people say like there's no cheap places, but even in California, I mean, you could live in Sacramento. There's actually like I don't know if it still exists. I remember a couple years ago they had like $200,000-$300,000 homes out there. Sacramento. Let's see. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, at least get a condo. Yeah, bro, you could get a condo, like a townhouse for $199. Fire, bro. House, 200 grand. Yeah, bro. This would need work, but shit. Those are few and far between in Cali. Yeah, there's it looked like a teardown, but nice to see. I've seen people get new builds at $399 and $4 easily. It just all depends on how like in demand. If the area is hot, they might be a little bit more hesitant. But if it's not a place that's like I don't know, if they really need to move it and you're already paying the extra, like, because a new build you're paying a premium, then they'll give you a deal. GFS and Apple selling, even the SPY. I mean, it is power hour, guys. 30 minutes left. Sack around Davis. Made 30 on the law term last year. Y'all started my girl's law term this morning. Let's go, baby. Amen. Do it. I'd like Davis is for the college town too, bro. I'm telling you, you got cheap property out there. That was kind of the thing, because like I remember back in the day, people would bring up Sacramento. People just don't like going out there because it's up north, you know. But like Davis, you have the college, but like I'm telling, there's affordable property. So like if you're talking, I mean, again, if you built the $300 a month long term, 400 grand, where that's 10% down. So I definitely would hunt, and then more likely in those cheap places in this type of market, you could find a off market. You could find a motivated seller and get one of these 400s for like 200. So I would hunt. I like it. Like I see one that's been on the market for 170 days. 470. Oh, they bought it for 390? Oh, they lowered it to 420. They can't sell it lower. Let me see ones. Trying to see one on the market for a while. But that's the easiest one. You can find the ones on the market for a minute and just offer them in this market. Some people will take it. You already have the Navarro one. You're going to move back from Sacramento, from Missouri? Missouri has cheap property. Missouri's like Philadelphia. I don't think Missouri had the boom yet, though. All right, you got even REITs going down. I mean, the bonds held up today. Fairfield, is that in Sacramento? Yeah, SPY again. We're about to go back to the low of the day. It's still a little bit of a gap up. Russell and NASDAQ are doing very good, though. That's what I was saying earlier. This isn't everything. It's kind of more value dumping than not, because like Meta and Tesla, they're still holding up. So this is just like, there's a lot of names still green right now. I would not be fooled. I think it's mostly Apple and the Dow. But even then, SPY's still just holding the gap up. So I wouldn't trip too much. That pre-earnings front run is still in effect. Dow still got 23 names green, though. And 67 on the Nazi. SPY, 280 red. Or 280 green. So, yeah, it's a lot of the SPY names are just going down. Where's Equal? I bet you Equal Weight might be down. Yeah, Equal Weight's about to go red. 0.11. So, there you go. So, it's a broader drop. And now, is that Meta? Oh, that's Beta. The Google's dropping, too. Yeah, Google's even dropping. I think they're going red now, because they're holding a gap. You saw that? It said Google and then Beta. I was like, what? Iridium, D of D chatter. People were hyping that one up yesterday, too. All week, bro. All week. They were like Iridium, Greenland. And now iridium. I think DOD, they had something this morning, to be honest. Let me double check. Iridium. Largest percent. Their earnings call is February 12th. Yeah, the other day they had testing of Iridium Direct. But yeah, people kept bringing this one up, and they had some options too. Excuse me. DLC's cancellations, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee. Alabama did very, I don't know if you're talking weather, but real estate, when things were getting hot, Alabama was popping off. I know people really like Alabama. Alabama. So yeah, this isn't just because the SPY's going down. It's not everything. NVO, TSM on the low, TMC. But yeah, NVO moving up a little bit. Tampa. I mean, Florida, you could get good deals now. Florida's kind of chilling out. That's it. Just in Miami, I wouldn't buy a condo. That's it. If you're going to go to Miami or anywhere in Florida, I would try to avoid a condo, or if you're going to buy a condo, it better be new. Because that's it. They just have a lot of them. Man, SanDisk going up. Again, we have Intel after the bell as well. So you might want to finalize your plays if that's the case. Sweet home long term. What? Nice. I'm going to put the Intel earnings preview on Twitter. Sweet home long term. Down. Interesting. The average analyst estimate is below the top end that the company gave. Yo, that might be why motherfuckers are buying it up. Is low-key kind of sandbagged. I'm surprised. People are expecting a higher margin. But yeah, their revenue is in the middle of the range. And then last 4 quarters, it didn't move on earnings. 3 of them, it went down. Last earnings, it was break even. So yeah, but it's implying 9%, which is pretty big. But yeah, I posted it on my Twitter. Go Real Cult News on Twitter. On Twitter. Bow. Mama, coming home to you. Down. We home long term. And then I posted the video too. You can see what it was like buying Intel. That was 6 months ago. I thought it was longer. Bro, do you see how filthy this is? August 17th.
Oh, son. Hey, look, you see my pants too? Do it just because anybody can really do it.
This is me begging
at
you to get a
any
long-term
scale.
and rebuild it.
Got a lead this year.
It's a good one, bro. It's a good one. We kept it too. But yeah, here's the preview. So when the earnings come out, you're going to compare it to these numbers. But that's what I'm talking about. This is the average estimate from analysts, but the company said 12.8 to 13.8. So it's still on the higher end, but then again, there's the company issued higher. So there's still a little bit of range right there. And then if they beat that, I think that might be surprising. I don't know how the future guidance will be. They're saying lower, but then again, that was 3-4 months ago. That was before all this memory shit. But it went up 11 yesterday, I know. But look, last 4 earnings, it hasn't really moved that big. And most of them have either been break even or negative. So we'll see. East Coast warmer. I think some places in the South, but yeah, literally UNG just flipped. So that's going to be the play though. So depending on whether you wake up with heavy or less snowfall or not, that's going to either gap or crap UNG. If equities push, do we see metals pull back? It really depends. And then GitLab's going again. But it just depends how, because like I was saying, I thought if equities went up, I thought it would have crapped gold a little bit more, but it didn't. So it kind of just depends on the reasoning and what gets added to it, the stuff with bonds, central banks, the dollar. So like if the Sell America trade goes up more, I don't think that's going to be good. And yeah, bro, y'all following me though? I haven't done it in a while, but if you follow a bunch of like scammy Twitter accounts, I'm blocking you. I don't like that on my Twitter. So yeah, if you follow dog shit, you're not allowed to follow me. I'm sorry. I'm not your typical social media influencer. Oh yeah, dog, what the fuck is this? What is this, dog? Yeah, I hate Twitter, bro. I hate Twitter. You know, I use it as this little tool. But my goodness. You know what? Don't follow me, motherfuckers. Don't follow me. Follow the Lord. Am I in the G-Wagon? No, I'm in my office right now, sir. But no, I have one of those, but I'm not in it right now. You know, just doing my thing. Did you guys hear about Porsche? You know, Porsche has had its worst sales in like 15 years. Or 10 years, I think. 2 feet, man. Good luck. Good luck. You didn't get Intel? Man. You would have been... Your mad comments would have dropped by 30%. At least. But I feel you. I miss NVIDIA like that. I just wanted NVIDIA cheaper. But I still love Jensen. You know, where is Jensen? Now that I think about it. Where is homeboy? Corvette. Somebody tried to sell me the ZR1 for 300 grand. I said, you guys, well, I'm not the like crazy one. They said I could get you a deal, $75,000 premium. I said, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yeah, he did speak at Davos. It was too early though. We didn't listen to it. It was too late, depending on time zone. Mama, I'm coming home to you. Do 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 do. I see Porsches everywhere. That's a very popular California vehicle, sir. They're everywhere. Yeah, I'll stay here for Intel earnings for sure. For sure. Sweet home Intel Bama. Oh, excuse me. we'll see. It's gonna be exciting. Well, it's gonna either fucking, if Intel does good, we'll probably beat the Russell. Otherwise, the Russell's gonna still keep the lead on us. Because Intel's doing a lot of work for us this year. I mean, it did last year too, but especially with how slow. Because again, SPY's at like break even or 2% or something. Do I remember Longeveron? I mean, I don't know. You've been here for a while, but one day you'll realize I remember everything. Mr. President! But yeah, I do. That was a fun one. I don't know. We might get one this year. You know, there's a lot of biotech things. Today did go by fast. Thank God, bro. I'm just happy. I'm still dying, but compared to yesterday, bro, oh, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So yeah, man, it flew by. It would be funny if Intel went back to 38. Yeah, ha 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 ha. So funny. So funny. I think it'd be funnier if it went to 1,000. How about that? That'd be funny. I'd laugh a lot more than if it went back to 38. Even though it just started at 38, so I don't know why I'd be mad at 38. But I feel you, man. I feel you. Maybe I just prefer a dad joke than all of this bullshit. Bless you. I know, bro. Dude, isn't it crazy, bro? Y'all have like barely heard me sneeze, and I be sneezing at least once an hour. LYB? Oh, I know what it is, but I don't. It's industrial. What is it, though? What do they make that I know? I think we've had this talk. Chart doesn't look too bad, to be honest. But I need to get more familiar with it. Maybe if I'm more familiar than I thought, then yeah. But otherwise, no. I'm AI? Well, I mean, if you guys know the history of the Stock Market Live, they were calling me Josh AI before AI. I don't know if you guys recall. You had to be there, but yeah, you know, the Josh AI title came before. So maybe this whole time. They haven't faced the truth, and Josh is still faceless. Killing shit. Yeah, man. Oh, I got sick, though. I don't know if AI gets sick. I just need an update. I ain't been sick like this, though, in a minute, dude. I don't remember the last time I was coughing out boogers. That hasn't happened in a while. I caught a virus, you could say. Killing shit. I could quit now. Cigna, UNH, Alt. They had something the other day. Pat the Rat. Intel's gonna be right after the bell. Chemicals. Oh, the chemicals I took today helped me out. I'm telling you, these cough medicines, dog. Some of you even said there's a different Sudafed behind the counter. I got the shit in the box, dude. That shit hit. I was shocked. It helped me out extremely. You have no idea, bro. Sats is going up again. Kind of a stick. Baby one. I didn't use saline spray. I got like a Mucinex nose spray. And then I got one of those little like, this one's from Switzerland. It's like one of those like eucalyptus things, and you just stick it up your nose and then you fucking snort it. But I can't snort it. It hurts. But it feels nice. I just did it. You hear it? Oh, fuck. That stunk. Never mind. I don't like that. That did too much, bro. Being too theatric. Woo! But yeah, I'm scared though. Remember the Chad? You guys told me you got addicted to them. Nah, one of the Chads, they were like, yo, I was addicted to nasal inhalers for a year. I'm like, how? What the fuck? So, I just want to get better and then get over this. I ain't been sick in a minute. I ain't been sick in a while. It's terrible, dude. Like, mucus is just so stupid, dude. I'm sure it serves a purpose, but dog, it's like it weighs you down, bro. Like, waking up, bro, I used to love, up until these last like 3 days, bro, I used to love the morning. And then I wake up and I'm like, you just feel like heavy. Even when I talk, even this morning I was a little heavy, but I got good throughout the day. I've been popping these Sudafeds though. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. So I'm like, you know, I'm sure if I crush up like 30 of them, I turn into a meth head, but you know, one every couple of hours has been very helpful. I'm about to take one right now, you know. You got pneumonia? I don't think it works like that, but I think that's the next step. My mucus isn't even like, it's barely green. It like some of them are green and then some of them are normal colored, which is a good sign. You know, it's more like yellow and then it goes away. I got a good immune system, dog. Praise the Lord. I've been fighting it, man. That's why I'm usually, whenever I feel like a little sick, little Sam Bankman over here. Like, woo! But whenever I get like a little sick, bro, all I gotta do is just like sleep early. Like, I'll go to bed at like 6 or 7 p.m. and then take naps, and I'll just wake the fuck up and I'll be good in 24 hours. Like, usually 24 hours. But this has been the only time that like I slept and I woke up and I felt worse. And I slept again and I woke up and I felt worse. Today was the best day out of all of them since like Sunday, which is kind of nuts. This 2-shot pass, bro. Amen. As I'm fucking. Yeah, Caroline. I think Caroline got freed, bro. Squidward. That's why I still just. We should have known, bro. We should have known. This past. I feel like a lot of people said the same thing, though. I think we all caught the same sickness. It was cool, though. Let's see. If it goes away tomorrow, I'll be super happy. That's all we need to do. We need to thug out one more day, bro, and we're golden. Dude, GitLab went insane, bro. Some of those options went up like 600%. Like, dead options all got a bid on that. And that's CRISPR. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these plays for tomorrow, bro, they're either going to go crazy or they're going to die. The UNG, you just gamble on the weather. I mean, fuck Polymarket. But like straight up, you're either going to wake up tomorrow after the storm hits and they're either going to be like it's better or worse than expected. And then that's it. If it really hits hard, they're all going to fucking double. Because they're already down a lot right now. That's how it is. Today we woke up, they were up 50 to 100%. And then I made them free. And then you're going to play the same game. But if you waited till now to position, a lot of the ones mid to out of the money are down. So, but it's just a weather gamble, low key. So be careful. Be careful and be wise. And then CRISPR, I told you guys, you got some old in the money plays. You got to really just decide. You either hold that for tomorrow and they rip, or it's just going to die and you lose everything. There's a lot of plays like that, man. Like where if any of these get follow through tomorrow, like they're going to rip considering how they move today. But then if not, like Meta is a good example. All those Meta plays are up a fuck ton. I'm surprised. Because we bought them on Friday and then you got gap down and they got clapped a little bit. But after one day, bro, they're already like launching. So, yeah, that's all that matters with it. Does CRISPR have earnings? That could be why, but I'm in the money on those. No, you got some time on that. Yeah, those CRISPRs are technically up 12,000% today. Very big. When I made the TLT in 2020, I think it was a 100 or a 120. We were about 20 or 30% out the money. But that was, I mean, again, they just cut the rates to 0. So what I'd encourage you to do is look at TLT and correlate where 0 is. And you could figure out where TLT would be based on the past. Spy's kind of ripping. That's 10-minute rig, though, for Final 5. Let's see. Snow on the high. They're not feeling me. Yeah, dude, the metas are nutty. BAP. The weather, well, it does usually, but in this case, I think it's just going to be a little bit more volatile. The whole lot, again, you don't see this every day. This type of weather event, it's either once in a decade or that's it. No, I can't. All right, man, right below. Meta again in chat. I'd wrap it up. Your final 5 or final 4 now. But I'd think about earnings. I would bring it home, and then tomorrow either be exciting in the morning or you'll lose steam on all these earnings plays. And then what other geopolitics? You didn't get any crazy headlines. I mean, this was... they might be brewing up this whole like European sell asset fear. That could be part of it, but we will find out, my friends. We will find out. Man, they won't feel shit. I'm in a cold. All right, the weather. Oh, you haven't heard about it? We've been talking about it for a couple of days. I feel like it's everywhere. Where do you live, bro? Well, yeah, everybody's, there's a big weather, cold Arctic surge. I don't even know what you call it, bro. Yeah, January is almost done, you guys. Isn't that wild? Ah! First month in the books. So we got one more week. We got one more full week after all these holidays. But yeah, bro, that's kind of crazy. We are almost done. So get ready too, man. We're almost wrapped up. You could get your adjusted GG in, and then I have it. Again, I posted it on my Twitter. Here's the Intel expectations. Don't follow me on Twitter if you follow a bunch of bullshit. But we will have the earnings out when they get here, and we'll see. And I'd finalize your Intel place. Speak now or forever hold your peace, my friends. And shout out the long term. But you only have... wait for it. 1 minute! Go, 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 go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to wrap it up. Bring it home. Finalize those plays. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Shares, options, futures, Intel, earnings, you name it. You better wrap a Rooney, Chattadooney, and then tomorrow's Friday. So let's have a good day. And make a decision you could live with, okay? So that you'll have a good Friday, bro. That's it. At least you got both nostrils. You know what I'm saying? But you have less than 10 seconds. Wrap it up and bring it home. God bless you in America, Chad. And bring it to the ding, 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 ding. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. Horna, oh, Chattadonia. Chattadonia. We did it. We made it. Before the earnings comes out, I don't know if it's going to delay or not, but I'll tell you if it does. You got the estimates here on the left. Let me get a GG in the chat right now, baby. Jot that GG, baby. Hey, man, God bless y'all. Thank y'all for dealing with sick Josh. I know some of y'all sick, but I don't, you don't hear your coughs and shit. But we had some good times. We had some good days, some good plays, and it don't matter if you made a play, if you made a long term. And did you learn something? Did you actually walk away with the long term? With something real? Do you understand it so you could keep it forever? It's yours if you understand it, dog. GG. I hope they feel me, man. God bless you and GG. Thank you for your time, Chattadonia. Thank you for your time, baby. Amen. Oh, it's out! Oh, I think it came out. First quarter outlook. Shut up, Josh. Uncle, whatever your name is. Adjusted outlook 0. Estimate was 0.6. First quarter loss per share 21. Yeah. So EPS was lower. Oh, where'd it go? It's out. Hold on. Let me get the other one. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. Let me get the easy. It's not loading. But yeah, it's out. They missed on EPS. I don't know why it didn't show all the other ones. It had a little drop in pop. Remember, it's pricing in about 8 or 9. So fourth quarter loss, $591. Revenue was $13.67. So below the top end, higher than the average analyst estimate. Revenue of $11.7 to $12.7. So higher on the top end and then lower on the bottom end. It's kind of in line, bro. And then EPS is pretty shitty. Our conviction is a central role of CPIs will continue to grow, said Louboutin. Solid finish. We made progress. The introductory of our first 18A. We exceeded Q4 across revenue, gross margin, EPS as navigated industry-wide supply shortages. Supply. We expect our available supply to be at its lowest level in Q1 before improving in Q2. I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't sound like they're benefiting off of it as much. Let's see. Tax rate, operating margin loss, 4.2. Where is the gross margin? And then fourth quarter adjusted EPS was 15 cents. So they beat on the non-adjusted, and then adjusted they beat. Non-adjusted was a loss, but people don't look at that. But still, hey, last time I didn't think it was too hot and they held up. But Yeah, I mean, for now, I don't even think you would have made money on the puts. It has to go down like 8-9%, unless you just got one in the money. But even then, you'd be break even right around here. Let's see, Altera. Change to integrate network edge. Again, the fourth quarter revenue, that's all in line. It's still, these are all on the high end. So a lot of these, like I said, they had room to go higher. Could have seemed like a sandbag, but they just came in line. I think people, again, they wanted it to be hot. Core, first AI platform to be built on 18A. Intel and Cisco, ramp to high. The sale of 5 billion common stock was completed, further strengthening company's balance sheet. Yeah, they guided down on the EPS. Let's see. Indicated below. Future cash. I'm trying to see if we could get anything on the SEC stuff. $13.6. Gross profit 4.9. That was these. I didn't even look at the Foundry, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, it's all in line. All in line with a slight guide down for next quarter on EPS. But everything's, and it's going to all be on the conference call and how they hype it up. I was looking for more supply shortages benefiting them, but they said supply into Q2 will level out a little bit better. I don't know if that's going to help their cost or if that's going to help their sales, but still. And then Capital One, ISRG came out as well too right now, for those of you who wanted that. All we cared about was Intel. Dude, it's a cuck for now. It's only 3%. They guided margin down for next quarter, and then adjusted gross margin beat. Let's see. I'm trying to see the SEC stuff. Secure. Oh, wait, go back. Escrowed shares refer, hold on, I got something. To common stock held in escrow to the U.S. Department of Commerce as we perform and receive cash proceeds in connection with our CHIP Acts in the government? Huh? So that's affecting their EPS. Interesting. But yeah, I don't think we have an answer on that, bro. Proceed. Oh no, they recorded some of it. Oh, those motherfuckers. Proceeds from capital-related government incentives. So I don't know if this is the shares, but they're like slowly drip feeding them in. Gains, liability. During 25 still held as of year end. We exclude these non-operating gains and losses. Oh, what? So yeah, dude, all these I don't know, that might be the answer. I low-key think they're excluding it. They're just still reporting it like it's fucking Biden. And then they're like, anytime they get some of the CHIPS Act stuff, they're recording like $1 billion. But again, they even last couple quarters, they reported higher than that. But yeah, I don't think they're counting it. So that $10 billion from Trump, they're not like reflecting it on their balance sheet. They have the money, but they're saying to keep their core business. They're, I think, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm reading here. I want more color on that. No, they have it. I think they have it and they're getting it. They're just not reporting it. Like, you remember when Ford, when Rivian IPO'd and Ford had like $15 billion, and then they came out and then they were like, we beat by $15 billion, shit like that. So essentially they should have like $10 billion that they could literally smack on the balance sheet whenever they want. But I think to focus on the core business, they're not including that. Very responsible. I know what Pat the Rat would have done. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, you got to wait for the conference call. Whew. Excuse me. Even GLD. All right, well, kind of looks like a dud, bro. Kind of looks like a dud. I don't think it's going to die. I just don't think it's going to... I think it's going back to where it was, halfway of where it was at yesterday. Hi! And then you'll lose any of the earnings premium. But then again, depending on how the call goes and everyone else, you theoretically have another 5% in store. And that 5% is going to either take you back to break even or to one standard deviation. No, there's ISRG. And then CSX, ISRG ripped. When does the call start? And then Capital One buys $5.1 billion deal for fintech Brex. And then Congress urges FTC to review EA deal. All right. Well, that's it. We'll see when the conference call is. I'll play you a track, and we'll go from there.
Long term. Am I mad or just passionate? Are you fam or just acting it? I know I talk a lot, but I always keep passing it. Gotta keep it in the roto. We are not the same, like rice isn't risotto. All the real ones know it's always no photos. Hit the market crash, stop backing, I'm the go-to. Just because you know me, that don't mean that I'ma know you. Damn, talk stops non-stop, I am really him. If your name not Ben, we ain't really friends. Franklin at the end if you ain't getting that. I think all y'all do sedatives, or worse, I hope it's not hereditive. You ride the wave, but I invented it. I saved, and then I started lending it. Make trades, then I put it to another crib. That's a formula I did my whole life. My bro knew I was quick, so he taught me how to fight. Said you being followed if they take 3 rights. If they don't want your chain, then they want your life. So I go and share both of those. If you kill me or you rob me, either way the money overflows. All about $1, you can tell my heart is really cold. Something in my head, cause my soul is getting really old. Don't let a gamble tie your mind up. Nah, don't let a bitch fuck your life up. It's true, nothing good happens at the night, bro. Money is fun, son, I hope you made your mind up. Tell me who the line up, show me where you find her. You can have a rollie, it don't matter when your time up. Handed him a Bible when he asked for a light, bro. We are not the same, like a lion's not a tiger. The difference is the difference. That's my old bitch's shit, that's my new bitch. That's the YouTube and the Twitch. From the hills to the trench, in the game to the bench. The difference make the man.
Yeah, that one's on Spotify. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're counting it the same way, though.
Baby.
Let's see. The call's at 2 p.m. I don't know how I feel about 2 p.m.
Listen to blues riff and beat. Watch me for the changes
spit out more
and try
blues.
and keep up, okay?
Hello, how you doing? I'm that motherfucking guy. Had a call, I had a put. Now I'm Marty McFly. NQ/ES. Get my pronouns right. If I'm throwing hands up and his finger to the sky, throw me in the fire, then I'm coming out alive. Boy, I've been here for a while. I don't need to take 5 years running. How the hell I hated, not inspired? Yeah, they headed for the Insta, but I do it for the life. Put it on my life. I don't think twice. Instinct on beast. Had to learn it to survive. If you think I'm cheap, you ain't give the right price. I would never love a lifestyle more than I love my life. Always been a boss, I don't never need a break. Always been on stars, you can put me with the grace. Big man, milk can, we can talk about the race. Zotan, Timarag, got it all in one place, all in one take. I don't want debate. Shout out to my nephew, man, he got my whole estate. Shout out to my mama, she know I'ma keep the faith. And don't forget about my girl, so pretty like her face. Why they mad at me, talking about they fallacies? My life is fantastic, yours is just a fantasy. Head trick with the assets, I ended up with equity. Ain't fucking with you fascists, the ownership is set me free. And God too, don't forget how God move. Only need a little bit, that's the way that God prove. Fuck you, you ain't feeling it. Shake the dust from my shoes, living in this silhouette. It's hard for me to act rude. I am that dude, put him in a bad mood. Only time you see me out is if I'm buying bedrooms. I don't really stress, dude, tell me what they get you. Like I'm eating now, I'm just trying to get the chat food.
Stop acting like you know me, homie, you ain't got the vibe. Capping for reactions, cause a demon need a rise. What's a lying to a secret? I need you to find the pride. Be careful the things you thinking, you speaking, and what's inside.
Money, 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 I don't give a fuck about it. 2020, homie, already had the bag without it. Hate or love it, you ain't even know the half about me, but I'll take a half and double that.
Bro, all the like immediate articles on Intel, they return to loss. So yeah, they're gonna hammer this one tomorrow. You need that. You need Lipotan to give it some Lipo Botox. You know, some lipo time. Is the stream delayed? It is, man. But like, you're lying if you've been here since. Where you been, bro? It's been delayed for a minute now. No way you just noticing this. So where you been at, bro? Get the long term, or y'all could get locked in. But either way, yeah, it should still be faster than everywhere. That's the beauty of it. But yeah, Chad. So get ready for Intel 2 p.m. I'm not gonna be here. I think I'm gonna dip out. I think you might be on the delay, but not the stream. But it's okay, man. The long-term plays all hitting. Did you get the intel? Did you hear about the intel? So, Chad, I hope you have a good day, though. That's it. I'm going to go take... I think I'm going to try, man. No guarantees for tonight, but I feel a little better today. But we'll see how this nap goes. I might double down on the nap to make sure I'm good. But if I'm feeling good tonight, I'll get you guys a video. But other than that, man, I think we good. I think it's a good day. It flew by, low-key. So we'll see what Friday brings. We'll see if we get more hype coming out of the earnings fronts. And then, yeah, dude, next week is going to be all the tech earnings. So I hope you had a good one. I hope you got to learn from the long term and everything else. You should have still got a lot of very timely information today. You got some exposure. So I'm going to end it with some Charlie Munger for you. Okay, let me get you some. Where'd it go? Okay, see it again. Yeah, man, I'll get you one of, I'll end it on this, bro. And then you wait. We'll see where Intel ends up. But I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, you might get another chance to double dip tomorrow. So God bless you all, bro. And thank you for your time. For real, man. All of y'all, it don't matter what politician was on. It didn't matter. Y'all really here for the bag. You know everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? You up to date. You know what I'm saying? You getting hungry and you eating and you seeking on your... Oh, I love it, baby. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for vibing with me and dealing with even all the boogers this week too, bro. So I had fun. I hope you did too, man. So let's get it going. January's almost done, bro. We got a lot more work to do. You know that, HI. So I'm glad. I hope we get this all out the way. And then, woo! So God bless you, Chad. Thank you for your time. Go read the books. Richest Man of Babylon. Proverbs, New Living Translation. The strangest secret in the world. And don't forget why we're here. Why we keep going. Why that faith, hope, and love ain't ever going out of style. My friend, why you need to invest in things you know. Why you need to separate your long term from the short term. Why you already know more than you think, brother. And why a king will seek. And whatever you keep is whatever you understand, brother. So seek understanding and you're going to get it. And you're going to keep it. Why, baby? Why? Finger to the sky, baby. To God be the glory. And through the grace of God alone. Amen. Amen. Chatadonia. Another one in the books, man. Dude, Tim messed me up by telling me January's almost done. It is, bro. You got the Fed next week, too. I forgot. Earnings, the Fed, end of January. Oh, Chad. So get ready. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. But I love you, bro. Have a good one. All right, man. I'll see you tonight. Maybe. A tentative. I'm on the waiver. I don't know if I'm on the IR list. We'll see what the roster says in a little bit. So I don't know. Be careful betting on it. So be safe out there. And God bless America. Thank you to the veterans. And yo, them law terms, bro. Let's go. Have a good one. Bye.
Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a cult, baby. Ay. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you've been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah. It's done. Daddy said it's finished. Made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it. Set apart from the start, and the heart isn't ours. It's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the arc. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god. Then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib. But for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing, they want that to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now. Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I could listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Ay, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there, I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you've been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear, oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting.